Teenage Ninja Turtle. What the like this is walking in his crib.
Master Splinter ass.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of The Jam. It's JJ, AB, Allen, and Matt. The way it always is. Man.
Yes, sir.
We are back with another week. It has been a whirlwind of a week when it comes to like even just the performance of this podcast in general. It's been crazy.
It's been crazy. The support has been crazy. We appreciate every single one of y'all.
Man,
we about to hit like 20K on Instagram.
Man.
We've been hit 20K on TikTok. And then YouTube is about to hit 7.
Yeah, we pushing 10 on YouTube, bro.
This is ridiculous. No one like it doesn't happen this way.
It does.
It's so
I think
insane.
every morning checking the phone and seeing all that shit is ridiculous.
It's
Because it's nonstop.
Yeah, it's gonna have a long-term impact on my health because every day I'm getting up and immediately checking my phone to see what's going on and
Wakes me up
everything.
immediately.
But today we have a jam-packed episode, as we do every week. We're gonna be talking about Travis Hunter, news with him, and how y'all keep hating on him. We're going to be talking about white validation. What does that mean? It always, every time I ask that, it's about Allen's segment. So you have to stay and pay attention to it. Because we about to start cooking. We got some updates on the Diddy trial.
Diddy-gations.
I've been trying to run from the damn Diddy-gations, but we have to keep talking about it.
Diddy.
And then we're going to cover a bunch of stuff in this topic, but our main topic is going to be Streamers University. Talking about it is very much in the news. I'm not going to give you nothing about what our take's going to be. You have to wait for that.
You have to wait.
You got to wait.
Yeah, so we're going to dive into all that. Are we planning on reading comments at the end?
I thought we
got a voice
doing
memo.
the one voice memo.
Yes, we do have an interesting voice memo, and we'll give the backstory before we play it, but that'll be our final 10. We'll talk about that. And so it's looking up. It's looking up.
We got to talk about.
Before we get...
Hold on, wait. What? Why aren't they sharing the video?
Oh, wait, I couldn't even...
sharing the video. Joshua, tell them to share this video.
I don't know how many episodes we have to drop before you understand that, like, sharing the video is a thing you do when you click on it.
You have to eat.
It's not negotiable.
You think this studio
We will
is
find
free?
you.
like realistically, we have a job that we got to bring to y'all every Friday.
Exactly.
Y'all got a job that y'all got to do too. Make sure you like the video.
Exactly.
Share the
So
video.
everywhere on every platform, you
What
have
the
to
platform?
like, share, comment, subscribe. We talking about YouTube. We talking about Spotify. We talking about Acast. We talking about Apple. We talking about Prime. We talking about Pocket Cast. We talking about tuberculosis. We talking about COVID.
I don't know what we got.
We talking about H1N1, flu virus, Ebola.
Epidemic. All right. So, but yeah, all that good stuff. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. It's free and it helps us out a lot. So
We love you very much.
yeah, as written, we appreciate the love and support because a lot of y'all have been saying that we are the only people who exist who are cool.
Yeah.
Deontay Kyle cool as well. We'll probably talk about that as well. But yeah, so thank you guys for everything. Let's get right into this. So before we get started, I'm not forgetting this week. Fit check of doom.
Big check of doom.
Are we going in?
We going in jam format.
Jam
What you
format.
got on, bro?
So we got the all black phone
All
pods.
black.
You know what I'm saying? All black phone pods. Then we got some paneled, like veil jeans.
You
whatever.
know,
He got a little like polo jacket, which unfortunately my zipper. Don't look at it. But
he didn't even say don't look at it.
and then we got the chain. You know what I'm saying? The default white undershirt. Something slight.
Something
you know,
slight.
Okay. I'm not doing this, but we'll get into it. We'll get into it. It's a nice fit.
Boy, spiffy, you feel me?
My
I
eyes,
feel
like when the
every-
camera turned on, it just immediately went to the
Hold on, I gotta ask our podfather, can we curse? Can we curse yet?
Yeah, we're like,
thank
Fucking Jesus.
God damn.
Okay.
with
I
the
feel
thing,
like everybody dressed, somewhat comfortable today. So your boy got the what is this? Carhartt hoodie. You know what I'm saying? Some
Not
bomber
sponsored.
jacket that I got from Nordstrom. I don't know what this is called.
Not sponsored.
Your boy
That
got
sounds
it.
like a little ice.
Got some-
we only sponsor Soho Studio.
Yeah. It's the only thing we're mentioning. So, you know what I'm saying? We got some regular sweatpants, you know what I'm saying? Got the black cement threes with the different socks on.
I didn't
He doing it different for real.
Yeah,
on every layer of it.
Hold on, what's on the
chain? You know what I'm saying? Little black under tee. Something like.
Alan, what you got on, bro?
Man,
What's
what I
on your
got on?
neck?
Hold on.
First of all, let's get
let's get it. Hold on. We got the Preem dunks. You know, you feel me? We got the jorts. You know, half evil belt. We got the Soho Freedom tee.
Is that what's been in the background of every single podcast episode?
Wow.
Oh my God.
Man,
That's hard.
wait till they drop.
Look out for June.
Look out for
June.
Wait a
Right around the
Look out for
corner.
June.
Swiftly
That's
move
what I'm
along.
feeling.
We will not mention.
Hold on, wait. Peep the chain. Hold
Peep
on.
the chain. That chain is
It's dance.
Hard.
Girl
Dancing.
chain.
Girl,
Yeah,
you know
girl
what I
chain.
mean?
It's hard.
No, I don't even got earrings, but
And last but certainly not least.
And I don't like they riding up my shit. I'm trying.
You're sitting down.
You know what I mean? But I got the
what you got?
you know what I mean, Columbia's on.
Yes,
on
sir.
some
Yes,
shit.
sir.
Nike socks, jorts, Vaseline. You need Vaseline.
The essential.
Yeah, got the New York tee, you know what I'm saying? Even though they down 3-1. I don't got no chains on today, but I got my other
But he
clothes
got the
on,
yeah,
you
he
know
got
what I
the
mean? I did a new hairstyle on
yeah. Also,
W, beamed up,
beamed up.
Beamed up.
Beam
Five.
of doom.
Yeah.
How long
I
it
mean-
take?
What?
He said how long it take.
Perfectionism. Know what I'm saying?
My fuck.
But so let's get right into it. So we had a crazy week.
We did.
Before we talk about what's happening in the world, we gotta talk about what's happening in our world. As a product of I haven't noticed. It's very hard to take a step outside of like everything that you're doing to acknowledge what people like be thinking about you. And it hits me every single time I like meet. I've met a few people who like watch my stuff, people who are like fans, I guess. I hate using that word, but like I hate using that word. But like every time I meet people, it's like insane because it's a trip. Because in my mind, I just put videos on the internet. We all went out ever since we got recognized at the movie theater for the podcast. It's been like it's just kind of day after day. It keeps happening, and we went out the other day.
Shout out Cameron, by the way.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, that was the dude. That was the name.
Cameron.
Oh yeah, it is Cameron.
Shout out to Cameron, bro.
Cameron.
Yeah, so the other day we go out and we had went into a bar because mind you we were celebrating Big 21.
Big 21.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, no, that was like our first like time going out because they had turned 21 before me because I'm the last. So I'm like, bro, the least, can y'all please just wait for please, I beg y'all.
We waited till we all could go to like a bar or like club setting or whatever. We went out and we went to a bar, random bar, walk in, person working there is like, I know your content, like, and then through that we got introduced to a bunch of people. Like it was just
we gotta shout out the bar, bro. It was Wax Vinyl Bar.
Shout them out. Yes, great people. And then the following day after that happened, we ended up going out, hanging out. We got into some bars or like and a club for like free. Got drinks.
Yeah,
it was so nice, and it was all because like they knew us, and then somebody knows somebody. They fuck with what we do, and they were just like, "Yo, treat these people." So there were some DJs that I ended up meeting, people who are all Chicago, like local.
Yeah, exactly.
Shout out to y'all.
Shout out to the what is it? Wax Vinyl Bar.
Wax
Chicago?
Vinyl Bar.
Yeah.
Wax Vinyl Bar Chicago, the Y Bar Chicago,
Yep.
and it's
Tao.
Chicago.
Tao was fire.
Yeah, shout out.
We did go to Tao. We saw Gordo.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That was crazy.
That was the first little known fact. Well, I mean, I haven't talked about it. I've never been to like a concert. I'm going to my first concert in June with Kendrick, but like I've never been to an actual concert. So when we went to Tao and we saw Gordo, that was kind of like the first time I ever had like a concert experience. Like they had the smoke was blowing.
Bro, that's literally what.
I didn't know what to expect, but it surpassed my expectations.
It was not. It was actually.
It was insane.
The first night without Gordo, it was dog shit. I'm keeping it.
Yeah,
But with Gordo, it was hard. It was
crazy.
I knew it was gonna be hard because he's like more like house music. He helped Drake.
I didn't
work on,
realize he was also here. He played at Sueños.
Yeah.
So he was like one of the headline artists. That, like,
Oh my God. We didn't even mention Sueños this weekend. Bro, there was like too many people.
So there was like there was like a Latin music festival out in like it was either Grant or Millennium Park for the past few days of Sueños. Everybody was out there. I looked on the promo poster and Gordo was on there. I was like, oh, that's why he was.
I damn near wish I would have bro, there was probably a lot of money in Chicago this weekend.
Yeah.
I damn near wish I knew more about it because I probably would. I got some like Spanish artists I fuck with.
I
need go there.
I need to delve into the bag. But it seemed
like
like fun that entire day. I mean, I think it was like the first day of Sueños. I was walking like just around the city, just chilling, and I have my headphones in, and like you can hear the dun, 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 like all the way from
you
the
can
park.
hear. I'm like,
outside just walking, and there was people everywhere. They had like all the streets blocked off.
Streets. It was terrible.
I love our city.
Yeah, our city's always doing something.
Always doing something. We had Beyonce like a weekend ago.
Yeah. For like 3 straight
walking
days.
down the street, you could hear her like just.
Yeah, we have another one
bro.
like
Crazy.
coming up. I forgot what the festival is, but
I don't know, but it's summer in Chicago, and next week is about to be very hot. So
it's about to be 90s all next week.
Yeah.
Man,
we outside.
We outside.
Wait.
We have to do a podcast episode at the beach.
We do.
Put a mic in the
It was like hot summer. What was it?
JAAM hot summer.
JAAM hot. What was it?
What was it?
It
Damn.
was something, bro. I forgot the name.
Hold on. I think the pod was putting it on.
Hot jam.
It's a hot jam
jam
summer.
There was hot jam summer,
Man,
W.
y'all don't even know. We about to have the names of doom flying at you this summer.
Hell yeah, for sure. That's rich.
But yeah, so that happened. Personal like lives has been crazy. But outside of that, stuff has still been happening in the world. So first, I don't want to get into that yet. But first, Shaboozy. I do want to talk about that.
That was
I briefly. So I'm not actually too familiar with what happened. I seen the clip of him side eye.
I didn't know what happened. I didn't see the clip or nothing.
I want to see what y'all say about it too, because all I seen, the clip that you seen where.
Yeah, so give the
So the background of it was he was standing up there with, I don't know who the girl is.
Shaboozy is the artist who made.
Yeah, Shaboozy's the artist who made but another blood full of whiskey.
Everybody in the boat.
Got a history.
He's a popular
So yeah, that's that. I just found it out like a month ago. Anyway,
Are you for real?
Yeah,
that's
great. I just found it out. So he was up there with some girl, and they were talking about like country. It was like the country music award. Not
it was the AMA.
It was the AMA, but they was talking about some award within country music, I guess. And she was like, I think she was pointing out something. I forgot. I read the article last night, but it was like 3 a.m. She was pointing out something and was like, yeah, it was like a family, the Carter family. I thought she was talking about Beyonce.
Yeah, so did I.
But she was like, the Carter family, they basically invented country music. And Shaboozy was like,
exactly. Who's the Carter family?
Exactly. I don't. It's some. I'm assuming it's some white people because, like, I don't know, but it's some white people that like, no, you didn't invent country music. Like, what are we talking about? So like, Shaboozy, and then he came out with a statement, and he was like, "There's a lot of history. There's a lot of deep history. Like, if you actually start to look at June Carter."
Oh, yeah, I do see because they said the Carter family.
Yeah.
And it says American folk music group that recorded and performed between 1927 and 56, and it's 3 white people.
Yeah, like stop it.
Like,
what are we talking about?
Like no, actually, it's 5 white people. It's the whitest white people you've ever seen in your life.
I'm sorry.
Stop it.
Yeah, no.
I'm sorry.
They did not
Yeah, I would
invent
have did the
country.
same.
Now I understand why he looked at her
Yeah.
like she had a third eye or something.
Yeah, he was like,
What caused
We'll
you to
put
say
a
some
picture
shit
up
like
on the
that?
screen.
yeah, we'll put a picture up or something like that. But yeah, it was
No, I'm
actually
saying, what
hilarious.
would cause her to say some shit like, why?
Mind you,
It's probably like a little trivia factoid that someone mentioned to her, but it's very devoid of the fact that niggas made that.
Yeah.
Like,
the way I ain't gonna lie, I low-key think she was trying to get the clip. Cause like the way she said it, and then the way she's like staring into the camera like,
oh, what, you think it was like a joke?
yeah, no. Yeah, I think she was trying to
wanted
get, like,
that
not
headline
a
for
joke.
real.
No, not a joke. I think she was trying to get like something started, like a tabloid or something. I don't fucking know.
I don't know.
Tabloid is crazy. How old am I?
On the yellow page.
On the yellow page.
But yeah, no, that's I hope that it wasn't. I hope that
standing on some
yeah,
shit.
but I hope that someone just misinformed her. Because come on.
Imagine you get misinformed on purpose. Go on stage and fuck everything up.
Bullshit.
Go and say that. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, somebody missed it. She got to read a book or some shit.
Yeah, history of African Americans and country music is the same thing with rock music, same thing with jazz,
Yeah, exactly.
with hip hop.
We made everything.
We made everything.
With the
Keep it
culture.
in.
Where did
As
Elvis get his
written.
flow from?
Where did Elvis get his flow
We're
from?
not gonna talk about that.
We ain't gonna
We
talk
can
about
really
it.
talk about it.
really talk
We
about
can
it.
really talk
Yeah.
about it. But besides that, I did see in international news, Liverpool in England. That was an attack happened the other day. It was someone drove their car into was it a parade?
Yeah, it was like
they're trying to say that it's not like a terroristic attack.
Yeah, I guess they don't have the motive, do they? Because I guess the investigation's still underway, so they still need to discover the motive of doing that. But like, it seems to me like
I get
it's like kind of like a mass.
Yeah, it's like a mass.
Like a
so
mass
I get why
shooting.
they're trying to find out a motive behind it to sort of see, you know what I mean? But at the same time, like that doesn't take away from the fact that it's still a tragedy.
What in terms of like, was it like an accident? Like, did something fuck up with the truck, or like he just?
I haven't seen the video footage, but I would assume if someone drove their car into it, it probably was intentional. I have a hard time believing that they just like lost control, but then it could come out that he did. I think that the terrorism thing is whether or not there's a political motive behind it. It seems as though that it was a mass killing of some sort. I don't know for what reason, but that shit was a tragedy. Dude, how many people like dead and injured?
It was like 50 something that were like either killed or injured or something like that. Can we look it up?
I'm about to fact check. Fact check. This week, actually, we're gonna be talking, obviously, still doing this stuff, but I have a lighter load this week because I'm not doing individual like bag work, so I'm gonna be our residential fact checker. But yeah, so obviously condolences to everybody involved.
Yeah, bro, you know what that makes me think of? It makes me think of the Boston. Remember the Boston?
They said almost 80 people were injured, including 4 children.
Yeah.
No. Wow.
I don't think they said
plowed
any,
into a crowd. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they said any like deaths were reported, but yeah, over like damn near 70.
British police are not treating it as terrorism. Investigators moved quickly to announce the driver of the car was a 53-year-old white man from Britain.
He was from Britain?
53-year-old white man from Britain.
Why did he take a pause? What happened? He's doing that blink.
He's doing that thing.
Usual suspect. Keeping it a bean. Keeping it a bean.
Is it NS? Okay, what's about to come on my mouth, we will get canceled.
Okay, but this is this is devoid from the actual, like, obviously condolences.
Yeah.
But that is like
that's the reason I pause
every time.
Yeah,
they say that every time. The other side say that every fucking time.
Yeah,
like
the reason why I pause is because I'm just like, bro, it's just crazy how like your skin color could really determine.
Yeah, because if it wasn't a white man, if it wasn't a white man and it was a brown man, it'd be a terrorist.
Yeah. I just seen that clip with Charlie Kirk at what was it, Cambridge? I forgot what college.
No, he got cooked.
He was getting obliterated, and one of the moments. Yeah, I was gonna say
he was getting Charlie Kirk.
Oh, I saw that.
And all them clips that he was getting his shit black.
Everyone was clapping when he was trying to talk. It was hilarious.
It was so bad that what's that nigga name? Nick Fuentes. He made like a whole video. He was like,
Nick Fuentes.
I don't know what's going. I mean, the liberals might be right and all this.
Oh my god.
You know what's?
We're not gonna talk about but
because his job is just spreading misinformation. That just got cooked.
It's actually nuts how all of the Ben Shapiro, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, now niggas want to. I
see a problem occurring.
I'm seeing a problem.
Yeah, all of a sudden after 10 years.
After you made 10 million.
Yeah.
Right. After you done been on every show, done bashed every fucking political figure.
Yeah.
Now it's I see. Okay.
That's
why Candace, like getting your funding cut and then you take the conspiracy theory route.
Yeah.
Like, go fuck yourself.
That's the reason why I can't fuck with none of them. But I was gonna say, I seen a moment in that interaction, a woman who was telling him like, they were arguing about like fundamentalism and religion and everything, and they were saying like, if you're gonna say X, Y, Z about Muslims, then by that same logic that you should disallow Christian fundamentalists into the country. And I know, because Charlie Kirk had said, oh, should we shut off Muslim immigration to the UK? I know if it was a brown person in this instance, there would immediately be conversation about shutting off Muslim immigration to the UK, even if the person was Muslim or not, because he's brown. So it's so funny how we get to see white people do like this thing and then they escape any situation with their individuality. But the moment we do some shit, we're a statistic.
And then
condolences to everybody.
Scream, and then they'll scream, "Oh no, what privilege?" Okay.
Yeah.
It's honestly the funny shit about the shit is they don't even understand. You not understanding, like you not being able to recognize your privilege is the privilege.
Yeah.
That's exactly what it is.
That's
you sit there like you genuinely believe that out of every race, y'all the only race that shit don't stink.
Yeah.
When like y'all started half of the
Charlie Kirk is on like a media tour and he's making like hella bread right now, and he stood up in a university and confidently said that like, hey, the president of Ukraine could call an election when constitutionally he can't. And that's the reason why we don't fuck with. He can just. You can just say it.
Yeah, just bullshit.
You can just say what he
bullshit. He was getting his ass.
He's getting his ass handled. That's why they want to cut. They want to close the Department of Education. That's why they want to make sure your kid doesn't know what the fuck the history is. Because when you do know some shit, you're more equipped to battle bullshit. And they can't have that because that's how they lose. So, but that's all the shit that happened. Those clips were hilarious. I'm gonna keep going back and watching them. But. Let's dive into the meat and potatoes of everything. So we're going to begin with Diddy updates, right?
Diddy-gation.
Catch us up with this Diddy case.
So
I'm going to let you cook.
The first thing that we got to put on paper, Cassie's mom testified.
Okay.
Kid Cudi testified.
I did see some of that.
And some lady by the name of Carpicorn Clark, she testified as well.
Capricorn Clark.
That's a crazy
name. That's a name.
Capricorn Clark. LA's a place.
So we gonna get right into this shit, right? So we gonna start off with Cassie's mother, right? The thing that happened to her, Sean Diddy Combs demanded $20K because
testimony.
Yeah, according to her testimony, Sean Combs demanded $20K from her because her daughter was seeing Kid Cudi. So
wait, demanded $20K from who?
From Diddy demanded $20K. Mom? Yes, from her. It like you're
wait. So Cassie was seeing Kid Cudi at one point.
Yes,
and because of that, Diddy allegedly
went off the rails. Man,
you gotta give me $20K. That's ridiculous.
Like, it's some bullshit. So okay, it said Sean Diddy Combs demanded $20K from Cassandra Cassie Ventura's mother and threatened to release explicit sex tapes of his longtime girlfriend when he became angry that she was dating Kid Cudi. You see, so the nigga found out that she was dating Kid Cudi. I guess.
Wait, so is that confirmed?
That she was dating Kid Cudi?
That's confirmed.
They were together.
I didn't know that either.
I didn't know that. So they were together for a short period of time in like 2011 to 2012, I believe. Yeah.
And I grew up listening to Kid Cudi. Man in the moon.
Pursuit of happiness and everything, man. Yeah. So. Yeah, he found out that they were dating.
Sorry, the point that you made about him being like a billionaire, like you don't need that bread. That's for a control thing.
It is.
Like, you're extorting your partner's mom versus.
Is it like $1, like 20 cents?
Yeah, you don't need that money. It's a power.
It was like he was saying, give me the $20K and I won't like allegedly release
just blackmail.
This shit. Yeah, basically.
And then
casual blackmail.
The mama probably don't have $20K to just casually give you.
Even if right into that,
even if she does, why are you asking? You're not with Cassie.
Exactly. So Regina, which is Cassie's mother, said that she received an email from Cassie in late 2011 saying Combs was planning to release 2 explicit videos of her and send someone to hurt her because she was seeing Kid Cudi. Cassie's mother then said that understand that her and her husband had to take out a home equity loan to pay Combs.
Oh, he was like,
wait, he was dead ass.
Like, yeah.
Like, no,
I didn't think he was serious.
He was dead ass. He was dead ass.
Like, that's why it's terrifying. That's why it's terrifying. Because when a nigga like that, who has that many resources, like, you're doing this thing, like, they could actually harm you if you don't.
Yeah.
That's terrifying.
The scary part.
And the thing is, I remember me reading in one of the, it was earlier in the trial or whatever, that, like, he had some people from like the New York Police Department like in his like circle type shit allegedly. Allegedly. Don't quote me on that, but
allegedly we not getting no longer.
So if you were to do something to her, like nobody would fucking know.
Yeah.
So
that contributes to that control that he
some
has.
bullshit.
Yeah.
So they he was telling the jurors that, and then she said she was scared for her daughter's safety. Days later, she said the money was then returned. The money was then returned because Cassie stopped dating Kid Cudi.
Okay, so it was control. It was literally control.
Like, what the fuck, bro?
God damn.
We're gonna talk about the conversations that have been had about the victim's culpability because a lot of you weird ass
I saw
niggas
something about that
I
on
seen
Joe
on the Joe
Budden
Budden
shit.
podcast
We talk about
are
that
focusing
dumb
on
shit.
that. We're gonna talk about that later, but that's the shit I'm talking about. Like,
Yeah, it's like, bro.
yeah.
Oh my goodness, it gets worse. It gets worse from here. Okay, so during her testimony, the jury was shown photos of bruises of Cassie during it was taken during, like, I guess she visited her mom around Christmas in 2011. That's when her mom took photos of like her arm and shit. It was bruises, and I guess the jurors saw that. So now we're gonna get into Kid Cudi's testimony. Cudi testifies that his car was torched with a Molotov cocktail after his relationship with Ventura ended.
I seen it. They remember I mentioned it
This
briefly.
nigga Diddy is the fucking penguin.
Like,
Fuck Diddy getting Molotov.
He is the penguin.
and it's something that I realized too. It was years ago. Do y'all know what blind items are?
No.
What
So,
the fuck's
basic-
Call of Duty?
So basically, it's this thing where, like, say if, for example, when we watched like the Weeknd movie, and like he was spazzing out in like his dressing room, he's like, fuck you and all this extra shit. A blind item would be like a producer in that room would see that shit and like tweet it out from like a random account or go to like a subreddit or some shit, be like, yo,
like leaking.
I've seen this artist that y'all all know, he was spazzing out over this and this.
Okay.
So it basically like gossip and shit.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
But I remember me seeing somebody talk about that blind item somewhere, and I'm like, yo, that's some bullshit.
What, that his car got?
Yeah, that Kid Cudi's car got
like
blown
a
up.
long time ago.
Yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
wow.
So I'm like, I don't believe that shit, nigga.
Bro, then I seen the pictures, nigga.
Bro,
I didn't see the holes in his top. Or
Yeah, it was like a hole
Yeah,
in it.
we'll throw up the picture somewhere, but yeah, there was a hole in his top, and then I think they took a picture of inside the car, like his seat was burnt up. A Molotov cocktail. How crazy you got to be to make a Molotov cocktail?
Who got a Molotov cocktail?
It was so crazy, bro.
Tax these niggas.
Right?
Why do you have the ability to make
I
a
forgot her name, but it was an interview because we were talking about with those rumors. There was hella rumors about like how Diddy was just crazy over Cassie. Like any nigga around Cassie, he would try to be like, all right, y'all not doing
Yeah,
it.
which I mean,
And those rumors before any of
we
this.
heard,
was
like,
have
which
the
was
footage.
ridiculous. We have the footage that came out literally on the start of this shit. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. That was just a different me.
Like,
what
no!
are you talking about?
Then you got niggas standing out the court talking about Free Diddy with Free Diddy shirts on.
that's a different level.
I think
Like,
people
that's
really
a different
need
level
purpose.
of stupidity. And
People
No,
need purpose.
there's a random anecdote. There was a video that I seen about a dude. He was like a founder of like a cult or something or whatever. And he was like supposed to be a genius. I think it was called like Nexium was the cult or whatever. I forgot. I think his name was Keith Raniere. And he got like indicted. Yeah.
On some random shit.
He got indicted on like sex trafficking charges, everything. It got found out that everything he was doing was a scam, and he was doing some real wicked shit with like the women that he had involved in it. And I think there are still people to this day that will like be outside the jail under his like window, being like freaky. Like, mind you,
When was
everything.
this?
Huh?
When was this?
This
Public
was
filming.
Wait,
around
is he a black dude?
No, he's a white
Okay.
dude, and I think this
it was
went
somebody
down.
else
This
that had
all
the
went
same,
down, and people
yeah.
started going to jail like around like 2018, 2019, or something like that. So yeah, since then there's still like maybe 15 people that are like, he didn't do it.
Jeez.
Y'all will believe any goddamn thing.
Purpose.
Like
Just
purpose.
Yeah,
Purpose. Yeah.
Niggas need purpose.
Just please.
Niggas
Please
need a
need
purpose in life. You know what I'm
You
saying?
need to get a job.
Or get a better job that you actually like doing.
Like, jeez,
Please.
Indeed. So it says here in his testimony, Kid Cudi told the court that he and Miss Ventura dated for a few months in 2011, and Combs asked him to record some music with her. He testified in December of 2011 when Mr. Cudi said that he got a frantic call from Miss Ventura, who said Combs found out they were dating and seeing each other. Kid Cudi testified that he took Miss Ventura to a hotel for safety. Then he got a call from a mutual friend, which is Capricorn. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
He got a call from a mutual friend saying that Combs and another person were inside Kid Cudi's house.
Damn.
So,
Is this nigga Batman?
No, like,
So-
Like what? Like imagine you're
rich
You
the
get
way-
a
so the
call. The nigga's now in
your
your
crib
house.
while you trying to help this girl, and they about to blow your shit
Like-
high hell.
So the
I
nigga-
be living.
the nigga found out
Like,
Kid
what the
Cudi
fuck?
and
I
Cassie
just
are
don't
dating,
Get it.
Yeah, like-
right? Nigga goes crazy. oh my God, I can't wait till we get to Capricorn shit. But I'm not gonna even say it, but we're gonna get into that. But the lady calls Kid Cudi and is like, yo, this nigga's in your crib right now. The nigga drives over there.
And that's when the
nigga drives over there, right? He says, Combs, he called Diddy. He was like, expletive. He probably said, nigga, are you in my house? And then he alleges that Combs told him that he wanted to talk and responded, I'm over here waiting for you. First of all,
yes.
Wait a minute. Yes, you're in my fucking crib. What is going on?
This is not a normal thing that
Nigga said I'm here.
Okay, I feel like a lot of you, I feel like a lot of y'all out here will play like some sort of defense because we're just in an era where niggas can commit wanton crimes and not give a fuck.
No fucking firebombs.
Trump is elected. You can't just go in to other people's houses on some threatening.
You remember when a month ago, you know what I mean, this one fine nigga named, like, what's you on Matt? Remember this one fine nigga, what's you on Matt, a month ago was like, I don't understand why we make Diddy jokes, because, like, I wonder if we realize how nuts this is.
Terrifying.
Yeah.
Imagine
This nigga is walking into niggas' cribs, waiting for them, and throwing Molotovs in their fucking car. This nigga's T-Pain.
And the reason is because he's with your ex.
And because he can.
This nigga's insane.
And because he can.
Fucking
That's the big issue.
And he will create
talk
a culture of like silence so that he will never get caught up for the shit.
Yeah.
So as an artist, you just gonna deal with it and be like, well,
Like, nobody thinks that's like nut
Imagine
enough
you
to,
had
like,
just like a walking tornado in your life that like at any given moment they could just be sitting in the corner of your crib like, all right, bro, I want to talk to you. Like
in the dark, just
no.
That's actually some movie shit.
Yeah,
Like, that's a movie.
yeah.
Oh wait, I want to hear the Capricorn one.
Okay, so we gonna get into that, and then it says Mr. Muscati.
Yeah, Scott Muscati. He got a song.
Mr. Muscati said he arrived at his home to find security cameras facing the wrong way.
What the fuck?
Hold on. Wait.
This nigga is a Ninja Turtle. What the fuck? Like, this nigga is walking in niggas' crib.
Master Splinter ass nigga.
Nigga on some Wednesday shit, putting black gum on fucking security cams and shit.
Okay. Mr. Muscati arrived at his home to find security cameras facing the wrong way, unopened Christmas presents like scattered around the place. His dog was locked in the bathroom and was acting jittery and on edge.
They gave that nigga like what?
Bro.
What do you get home?
Get that nigga NyQuil.
Dog is... All right, I'm sorry. I apologize.
Nigga eyes bloodshot red in the bathroom.
It's actually no. He's actually a
psychopath.
He's a psychopath. Like in all, well,
bro.
Alleged.
If true, which I don't know how we're making this shit
I don't know how you make it up.
How
I don't know how you
Hey nigga, I'm at your crib. I don't think a
with
nigga's
some
making that
presents
up.
on the floor and shit.
Because it was around Christmas time. That's why I think after this whole situation, Cassie went to her mother's house.
Yeah, and they took the pictures. Yep.
Okay.
Oh yeah, that tracks.
That's crazy.
Now we're gonna get into Capricorn's testimony. She got a lot of shit. So Capricorn Clark testified that she started working at Bad Boy Records in 2004 and worked for Combs until 2018.
Put her in jail.
She also
Sorry.
By association. 25 minutes.
by association.
Yeah.
She also served as Cassie Ventura's creative director until 2018. Part of Clark's job was to set up hotel rooms with Combs. She was also told to require. She also told the court she required to have like drugs and IV in those hotels. All right, so
Okay. All right, next one.
it says
That's
here
written.
the burner phone. So I guess she was chopping it up with Cassie at some point, and I guess Cassie told her that she was talking to Kid Cudi, so she advised her, yo, you should get a burner phone because that nigga find out it's gonna be some shit.
Yeah.
Right.
All right.
So the burner phone that Cassie Ventura used to contact Scott Muscati, also known as Kid Cudi, was purchased at Clark's urging. Right. Clark recalled the morning of December 22, 2011, when Combs banged on her apartment door as her enraged boss said, "We're going to confront the rapper Kid Cudi," real name Scott Muscati. So I guess at that point, like he found out already that Cassie was talking to
before Christmas, and you can't.
Whoa.
All right.
niggas an enraged idiot. All right. So Clark said Combs was visibly furious with his pants split at the crotch.
Wait, what?
As he paced back and forth with a firearm. He says, "Get dressed. We're going to kill Cuddy." Allegedly.
Yo. Okay, allegedly.
Yeah, it's
Allegedly.
but like, Jesus.
Yo.
Christ.
We're going
So-
to. Whoa.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what she testified. The gun was in his hand. Clark told the courts that she was sitting in the car at Kid Cudi's home when Combs accessed the main doors of his property. So she was in the car and allegedly seen Mr. Combs
Diddy.
go into the crib, fuck shit up, right? Oh shit. She called Cassie from the car and told her that Combs was inside Kid Cudi's house to kill him. Clark then said that Combs ordered her to call Cassie to let her know that what the fuck, bro? This shit, like, I'm getting a headache just reading this shit. She called Cassie Ventura from the car and told her that Combs came to Cudi's house to kill her.
A lot of seats.
She said, literally, God damn.
Fuck around, lose your tongue.
Jesus. She said that Combs came back and Combs came back in the car and asked her to see her phone, calling the last number in her call history, which was probably Cassie. Clark said Combs ordered, it's a lot of K's and C's and shit. Clark said Combs ordered her to call Cassie to let her know that Clark... Why everybody gotta have C's and K's and shit, bro?
In case.
Okay, yeah. What?
Okay.
Let's call that nigga Penguin.
He ordered Cassie.
Don't even say the names.
Yeah. I can't even you can't even do that though.
Diddy now. Call him
Okay, Diddy now said Clark to go in and call Cassie or whatever. Cassie calmly agreed. Clark told the courts that Combs came at Cassie 100% full force, repeatedly kicking her and beating her.
Wow. Christ.
So after he found out Kid Cudi was with Cassie, Combs went in
Crib and then
Did he win a crib, fucks it up, then went to Cassie and beat the shit out of her?
Yeah.
Jesus. And you're talking about he's about to kill Kid Cudi.
Under.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, get him.
Under.
fuck out
Under.
So then-
Under. Let's go. Let's continue.
Another part of her testimony, Clark recalled telling the elder Ventura, which is Cassie's mother, "He's beating the shit out of your daughter. I'm over here. Please help her. I can't call the police, but you can." Combs fired Clark for that situation, alleging that she didn't tell Combs about Kid Cudi. That's why he fired her.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
Damn, wait, what week are we on within this case? Like 2?
I think so. 2, maybe 2.5.
it's not looking great. Well,
not
I mean, it
looking
is
great.
looking great for public safety.
Yeah. For the
Because-
safety of Gotham.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Because he
Jesus
sounds like worse than a James Bond villain. Like, and that's why I feel like it's kind of useless having these conversations that I seen on the Joe Budden podcast where we're talking about the victim's culpability in certain shit.
Why is that
And
even a fucking
I
question?
remember Joe himself had brought up, he was like, well, what do you do when there's instances in these freak offs where Cassie is trying to like initiate stuff and Diddy's saying nah? Well, you know, that would happen in a situation where you're gonna get your ass beat if you don't
do it.
if you don't maintain like a certain energy,
already-
even
she
if
already
you
testified
threatening
that
your
she didn't-
mama and
then
yeah, and also
like, what do we
assuming
do?
that like a dude like Diddy, like imagine just for sake of example, you're in this situation and someone like Diddy is your partner. How exactly do you know with the like trend of behavior that when he's serious and when he's not serious?
Yeah.
Like even if you are trying to initiate it, he's like, nah, whatever. How do you know that like genuinely Diddy is like on some, no, we're not doing this shit, when he will crash out and threaten to kill people and
They'll
beat
fucking
lock
you?
doors,
and-
all types of shit.
like when we're looking
I
at
think-
this versus this, for you to look and be like, well, what if I
She
dog you dragging
she
it?
already testified that like at points like she didn't even want to do the shit. She just had to take drugs to do the shit. So it's like
niggas' head just be so far out their ass.
Yeah.
Because it's like the whole conversation is useless because like not only do you take into account the psychological torment that that person has to go through to be like, okay, well, like, they should just leave. It's not that simple. And then on top of it, we're talking about a nigga like Diddy.
I'm about to say.
This is a nigga
there
who's
are
a
people-
billionaire who does not give a
It is known that there are people who are not famous. There are people right now. There's people probably watching this video who've been in a abusive relationship, who are currently in one, and they will stay with that person with no fucking surrounding threats to their lives. Maybe they have a connection with like their friends or whatever, and that's enough to like control someone enough to be like, all right, cool, you're not gonna speak out against me.
Right.
This is Diddy. He has the connect to all your friends, all your family members, everybody in your industry, and maybe law enforcement as well, because he's just a super rich nigga.
What do you
That 10x is the likelihood.
Like super rich is an understatement.
An understatement. He's Diddy. He's a
No,
billionaire.
those niggas on the Joe Budden podcast, they saw that video of Cassie getting beat. And the reason why it didn't come out when it happened was because he paid them. So then the conversation you have is, oh yeah, why didn't she leave? Nigga, do you not see, like, he has the money and access to get everything erased. That's why you didn't see it in the first place.
He has the money and access. He has the money and access to get you erased.
yeah.
What are we talking
You
about?
dumbass. Your mama erased.
Yeah.
Something. He just went over
Something.
to, allegedly
Find dirt
went
on
over to
something.
Kid Cudi house, another rich nigga, and felt completely comfortable allegedly turning security cameras off and like playing the Riddler with this nigga. Cause he had a, and he's like, yeah, I'll kill you.
And then I think
And that's
it was
another rich
Because he's
person.
dating somebody that you not even dating no more.
And y'all over here, why didn't she leave?
Why didn't she
No,
leave?
why didn't she
Up
leave?
your ass. Wasn't there a statement where like Diddy like later on told Cudi, he was like, I'm sorry for all that bullshit?
Yeah. He was like, I think he met up with Diddy later on. He was like, oh yeah, I'm sorry for all that bullshit,
It
bro.
genuinely falls into the whole.
What are we talking about?
It genuinely falls into the
You
entire.
gonna burn my fucking car? Oh, I'm sorry about that, bro. Like what?
Yeah, and
It falls into the entire like men accountability thing. Again,
Yeah.
where it's like you have these 40-year-old old ass niggas who need to be taking care of their kids on Joe Budden, saying shit like, "Why didn't she leave?" Instead of like, "Nah, this nigga losing that. This nigga. What are we talking about?" Especially
That
in
shouldn't
this
even
thing.
be a fucking
If we're
conversation.
talking,
No, but you want to know what is so annoying about it is that like it's every time, no matter what happened. I said it like the other week. I was like, oh, there's a comment that a lot of y'all will make about, oh, why did she wait so long, blah blah blah. No, this is not like a damn in this scenario maybe something. No, every scenario. I said they did the same thing with Bill Cosby because they did. Some of y'all did the same thing with R. Kelly too because they did. Like, bro. If every time this happens, your only question or your immediate question is, but what did the woman do though? Nigga, I'm not like, what? How?
you actually have to like.
You got to take a step back.
Like,
You got to take a step back and
bro,
live in
and just
reality.
actually
We're talking about,
just
we're telling,
think, bro.
again, because y'all want to get triggered. Man, this is a wealthy man with a lot of power and influence. I'm sorry, we live in reality. In the reality we live in, there's not many checks to that power.
It's actually hilarious how many people
Nope.
will like ride the coattail of like conspiracy theories like within our government.
Yes.
And then we'll
When it
like,
comes
try
to
to
the
get
way-
a damn
when it
way.
comes
that
up,
Diddy-
There
It's
ain't
like,
no
oh,
way Diddy could
Ain't no
did
way
this shit.
Diddy could do.
Yeah.
Alright.
But
Because
the
now it's
powers
the
that be,
personal.
they do everything, right?
Yeah,
Get the fuck
like,
out of here, bro.
And that be the shit with parasocial relationships, because these old heads, they fucked with Diddy back in the day. So you looking at this nigga, you like, there's no way you could do that.
so
When you
funny,
not
man.
seeing what's in paper in front of
Yeah,
you.
and you also kind of like chasing that validation of that audience to be that one nigga who's actually woke and trying to stop the allegations to tear down.
Them the type of
man
niggas that-
who.
Yeah, bro.
I mean, what else do we have?
What?
Bro, what?
It's nothing but
on recording
understanding.
beat the hell out of
Like 15 minutes worth of footage we
Yeah,
seen.
like,
You see that, and then all you say is, "Oh yeah, she could have left, nigga."
Them the type of niggas that be trying to push the foil paper with their hands and shit. That they got some divine intervention. They can fucking use force field and shit. Yeah, you know.
The clothes and the shit. That shit's
But I did want to speak to a little bit more about that piece about chasing that validation, because that is something that we see in parasocial relationships all the time. But I'm curious as to where you're going to take it with white validation, because there's a couple people I connect: Rob Smith, Jeff Mead, Candace on. But
Keep
so
going.
we can keep
By the way, that
going.
was a
You
beautiful.
seen that?
transition.
Yeah.
Quick, like off topic. Did you see when Jeff Mead was like,
No, I didn't.
Next question. Next question.
I stopped paying
go fuck
attention to that nigga when he signed with that one news agency he worked with. I don't even know what it's called. It's just him.
Jeff Mead is such a bitch that you literally have like a tag in your TikTok of you just frying.
Yeah, bro.
Like the Jeff pack. Wait, what
Just
did he
to
do really
remind
quick?
That nigga, he was like, Gaza's not a gender.
Oh, I did see that.
Fuck that.
All right.
Oh my God.
White validation.
White validation.
Okay, so white validation. We need to stop chasing that shit. But
real.
so a couple weeks ago, about like 2 weeks ago, I was supposed to talk about it on here, but didn't end up getting into it. Balenciaga, because Denma had left to go to Gucci, and they had a new creative director just come in recently, and he was the creative director of Valentino since like the 90s. He's been there for like 25 years. And hold on, his name is Pier Paolo Pacioli. Sorry if I pronounced it wrong, but he's a couture designer. He did a whole bunch of Valentino. Couture is basically kind of fashion with no limits. It's in a sense where it's not really realistic. It's literally like costumes, almost like the Met Gala.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
That's what
like,
you
it's
see the
real art for
extravagant
real.
one.
That's where you see like all the dresses and shit. And it's really more coded for women, and it's an amazing show. I actually recommend people to watch it a year. It's really cool. So he went there, and I was like, you know what? That's a decent move. He's on the older side, and I still kind of question. I was like, all right, so where is Martine Rose? And because that was a person who had history with Balenciaga, and everyone was like, okay, she's supposed to go there because that's just the right look.
Who's Martine Rose?
Martine Rose, if y'all don't know who she is she's a UK designer. She's done work with Kendrick Lamar. She has her own brand. She did collabs with Nike. She used to work under Balenciaga. She's a very good designer. She did shadow work for Denma and kind of made it Balenciaga to be how it is now. And black woman, and she's Jamaican.
Yeah, and she's
Jamaican black woman.
Yeah.
W.
So everyone was kind of like outraged, like, where's Martine Rose? Like, why is she not there? Like, why is she not in this position? And then on top of it, this year has been the craziest year of fashion because all the creative directors have left the big houses. We got Bottega, you had Louis back in the day, you got just all this other shit, Valentino, Gucci,
Loewe,
and
Dior.
the major houses that had different creative direction switches had no black representation at all. None. All white people on it.
Quick question: how many times has she been like snubbed out of shit? Because I feel like I've heard so many.
So
times.
much shit. Yeah, it was supposed to be. She was supposed to go to Louis, Balenciaga. I know there was other ones, but I don't know. But the major one was Louis because that's when she was in talks for it. Because when Virgil passed, it was either her. Pharrell wasn't even in the conversation. It was mostly other designers, and then Pharrell just popped and was like, everyone was like, "What the fuck?" That's why there was like a big kind of like thing with Pharrell, like, should he be there? Because you know, it was a big outrage with that. But going back to what I was saying was, so everyone was saying all this shit about her, and they were saying like how there's no black representation at all with these fashion houses. And I was talking to Matt about it a couple days ago, and I was like, that is crazy that she's really not in there. And he was telling me, he was like, well, at the same time, he's like, what do you expect from these houses? Like, these houses are not inclusive to that. These houses do not give a fuck. They've been that way. They really only started having black representation a couple years ago, but that's because of a whole bunch of shit with like Black Lives Matter and everything making it more acceptable. And I was like, I disagree because I was like, at the same time, you do need that black representation in those houses for more opportunities to pass. But then as I started to not only look more into it and looking more examples, which I will talk later, and I saw this one video about people were saying, why isn't Martine Rose in there? And he was saying, well, at the same time, we can support Martine Rose because Martine Rose is a designer who has her own brand. We can support her. That doesn't, just because she's not in that house does not dictate the fact if she's a legit designer or not.
I think, and that was
And
kind of
that's where the white validation.
Yeah, and that's where
it is,
especially
that
in
white
a
validation.
especially in a what's it called? Like not an industry, especially in an industry like fashion. Fashion is such an industry to where it's like anything can happen. Anybody can make it. It's not like I can't start a pop company right now and beat out Pepsi. It's never gonna fucking happen. It's never gonna happen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you can start a fashion brand and get up to a Telfar's point where they're beating out other brands, or get up to some of the not to say that you'll never need white people or never need. No, we need each other, right? But I think in this case, I'm like, bro, she already has a brand. Not to say that
Literally.
you know what I mean, but like she's talented in her own way enough to, bro, as a community, we could turn her the fuck up.
Yeah.
And then it's like, now you got to bring this person into this space.
And why it's so important, and it goes deeper than that, is the fact that we can turn her up. But it's the fact that she's not in those houses. No one dictates as legit because of the system that was created in the sense of, okay, the Dior that means you're a real designer.
Yeah,
The Louis, that means, oh shit, you a real designer.
Name brand houses or those big ticket blue chip houses or whatever you want to call it.
Exactly.
Like,
and that's the narrative that they painted out. So it makes more designers, especially minority designers, to keep chasing that validation and that point. And what it does is you get to that point, and a lot of times, bro, you see it not only kills your creativity, but it kills the main thing you started, your love for fashion and the brand you started. Look at Virgil, bro.
Because they're making money off it.
Exactly.
The
exploitation.
Literally. They run that shit like a business. That you running, Martine Rose
like
running
saying
her
you can't
shit.
cook unless you like are CEO of McDonald's.
Yeah, like exactly.
Yeah.
Martine Rose, bro, she running her shit. Like with her creative vision, with all of the things, you know what I'm saying? The things that she brought in her passion. You going to Louis, you're not running it with your passion, you're running it with that.
You're not changing McDonald's recipes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
That's why I brought
have to
McDonald's.
do
Like
that.
you're not becoming CEO of McDonald's and switching the recipes on people.
Yeah,
Like,
you're not.
And
you
then-
can only do so much.
Literally. And here's a main example of why it's dangerous. Like you go to these big houses, you chase what you want. Look at Alexander McQueen. The thing is with fashion, right? It's very fast paced.
Very
They have you going this season, you're done, you're going on to the next season. Bro, the pressure on Alexander McQueen going back and forth. He went from Givenchy and doing other work and doing his own brand. He ended up killing himself.
Yeah.
Because it was just too much.
What did you tell me again the other day? There was the show that he almost was like trying to.
He was what Alexander McQueen was trying to do because he was trying to plan his suicide. He wanted to put himself in a box in a show and shoot himself in the box in his show. Yeah. And that's what he wanted to do for his last
That's
show.
how nuts.
Yeah.
That's how nuts that shit
this
can get
will have
to a
you.
point of like, yeah,
And
like you
that's
just
what
need
they
to
create.
continue to do things. You need, you know what I mean? And
Yeah. And then what I was saying with Virgil had Off-White. Virgil started with Off-White and it popped, especially with the culture rap hip hop scene. Bro, he went to Louis, that shit died off. Died off. And then and then what happened is LVMH, they ended up putting a stake in Off-White, passed away. What did they do with Off-White?
Sold it immediately.
They did
On
not
his
give a fuck.
birthday.
On his birthday.
on his fucking birthday.
On his birthday.
That's
I think it was either his
ridiculous,
birthday or his
bro.
death day.
Oh yeah, it's
Yeah,
death
it was
day.
on
Death
his
day.
death
They
Death
do not
day.
care,
Yeah.
bro. They use you and exploit you as they need you. You're a prop figure. So that's why people of color need to stop chasing these houses for white.
I want you to get into a little bit about Telfar because like some people might be like, oh well, you need people like that's division or except. Talk about Telfar. Telfar does a lot of good shit with
I
their
just-
brand.
I just bought my girl the white Telfar duffel bag.
Yeah.
And it was like a white little
The circle
pouch,
one.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. No,
Yeah.
I didn't
and they
know
do a
Telfar.
lot of good shit, huh?
I didn't know Telfar did like good shit.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah,
a black,
they do.
it's a black owned business as well.
Yeah,
black
black-owned
brand.
business.
I gotta
So-
get one of their coats. They shit hard.
Bro, a lot of hard shit. I saw all of this when me and Matt had that conversation, and I really started thinking about it. I'm like, yo, there is a lot of black representation that is not really pointed out or highlighted that have started their own lane. And not you, Kanye. Go fuck yourself. But, so I wanted to get into Telfar, and this is a person who really paved the way that a lot of people don't know. It's Telfar Clemens. I'm sorry if I pronounced your last name wrong. Telfar Clemens is a designer. He's from Queens, New York. And he started around, he was like 17, 18. He was going to college, and he was going for business. He wasn't even going for fashion at all. So he was seeing he really liked the aesthetic of like a long sleeve. And what he really wanted was a really baggy long sleeve. So then he designed a baggy long sleeve, and he had a friend that was connected to a lot of stores in Soho. So
Written.
As written.
quick plug, shameless plug. But, so yeah, he had a friend in Soho, and what he would do is he would give him his clothes and be like, "Hey, yo, put this there," and he will put them in the stores, and that's when he came up with Telfar, and Telfar launched in 2004. So this is an old brand. Yeah, this has been
I did
out
not
for a
know that
long
shit.
time. Yeah, so he would sell those long sleeve, baggy long sleeves, and then he had other shit that he was selling off in the stores, and that's how he kind of got his start as a designer, because what he was making at that time, no really house was doing that. He was making gender inclusive clothes, so it was for both, and his deconstruction and reconstruction of garments really hadn't been seen before. It was mainly kind of classy style. No, he was just mixing up.
Even like the utilization of the sort of like puff print type style on like something more so like a more like upscaled fashion bag is like people are doing shit.
It was
like
crazy,
that.
and we're gonna get to that bag because he didn't start off with bags. He actually started off with clothes. How he did it. So then after that, Gen Arts was a place that would go to small and upcoming designers to kind of showcase their show. So that was his first fashion show. He went to Gen Arts, it was in New York, and he had a show there. And what he was trying to do was trying to not only apply his creative vision because it's his show, but also he wanted his friends there. They were like, no, you can't have your friends there. And no, we kind of want it how we want it. So you're not going to have all your creativity on it. You can put your clothes here. You can be happy that we're even putting you here. And he was like, okay. He was like, bet. I'm never doing this shit again. And then after that, and then after that, independent, no funding. So after Gen Arts, he had that show. He's like, yo, I'm not doing this. I'm doing my own thing. I'm starting my own lane. So then he started doing his own shit. Then he did one show, because money was so bad for him at the time, he did a show at his friend's apartment. And on the fashion show, you can literally see the bed on the wall. And he was showing his clothes, but still around the time, people were getting tapped in because he was DJing a lot of the time, which it's a very common thing with a lot of DJs who DJ and get around, especially in New York. So then he had that show, and it still wasn't a lot of success. It still wasn't a lot of money coming in, because after that, then that's when 2007 hit, the recession.
The great
recession. Not any sales happening. So then he had to change the approach. And then the approach was, hey, these fashion shows are costing me a lot of money. I don't want funding from other people because they own me. You know what? Let me change it. So then what he ended up doing was an art exhibit. He did an art exhibit mixed with a fashion show. So not only showing other people's art, his art, but also the clothes he would make. So then after that,
he makes percentages off like certain things depending on like the showing, right? Like if
I don't know the specifics on that, but all I know is it did start popping off. That's what kind of started popping it off around New York, because everyone was seeing it and it was a success, and everyone was kind of going crazy over it because people are already kind of have knew him from his Gen Art shit and all the other shows he was doing around there.
Yeah, and it probably helps the clout, like even having other people show their work in there. Cause like, oh shit, it's opportunity for them too.
Hell yeah, and then people were seeing shit they never saw. It was genderless clothing that no one had saw before. So then after that, he was getting his shit. And then Solange had found the brand. That's Beyonce's sister, if you don't know that.
Crazy.
Yeah, so then after that, he started innovating more. And he was like, okay, in order to sell these clothes, I have to really make not only the advertisement goods, but the shows more creative than everyone is doing. So what he did was, he got his friend, I forgot how to pronounce his name. I don't want to butcher it, but he ended up getting his friend, which is business partner. He's the creative director of Telfar back then. And they did a collab with Kmart.
Oh,
yeah, they did a collab with Kmart. And I'm going to tell you, this is what happened. It was kind of like a market thing. And that's when the bag even came up. That's how the origins of the bag came up, because of Kmart. And what it was inspired of, I don't know if y'all seen the medium brown bag from Bloomingdale's. Yeah, that's what the bag was inspired from. And then it sold out at Kmart.
What, like, you know, the medium, it's it's a little like bag that literally says medium brown bag.
It's from Bloomingdale, yeah.
I'm finna Google it right now. My job.
And when I'm telling you, bro, it literally sold out. It exploded. Everyone was like, holy shit, this is crazy. On top of it, it was affordable.
Or something
Beyonce,
like that, right?
Oprah, but that was kind of later on, and it went crazy.
Oh, it's this thing. Okay, I see it.
It was that bad.
You can see the camera.
Oh,
the medium brown.
That's hard. That's hard.
So then after Kmart launched that, he did other shows, because now he's getting more funding. So now he can do his own fashion shows. So he's doing more creative things. Like there was this one show he had where people would come in and he had this little game, and you could design, like he would put all the clothes he was going to have on that runway in the game, and you can customize the looks how you want to do it before you go in the show. So you almost can see how you want it before you get in. He only had that, and then on top of it, in some of the retail stores he was selling his shit in, he would have a projector playing of his runway shows. And then here's a big thing that a lot of people don't know is he innovated the way of how fashion seasons kind of start, because the thing is with fashion shows, they'll show the clothes on the runway, and then after that they'll immediately go for sale. That wasn't how it was back then. It'd be like a 4-month time before they get in. He was putting on a show and instantly putting in the stores, and Burberry 5 years later ended up doing the same thing.
Oh, I remember because it would be certain things that I would see in fashion shows. I'm like, yo, that shit hard as hell. You go to look it up. Shit, not there.
I know a lot of big houses still kind of do it. Knowledge like Louis does that.
Knowledge is fucking Louis power. Because I literally had no idea about that. And there's so many instances where like niggas will completely switch we the culture. There's so many instances where niggas will
that's what I'm
completely
saying,
switch how people are
bro.
doing stuff. And if you have no idea, you will just live in that ignorance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's insane. He even started another thing. He started co-ed fashion shows. And what co-ed fashion shows are is when men and women are together on the runway.
They didn't use
that wasn't back then. No, it was not back then. And he started it for more big houses because think about it, his clothes were gender inclusive. He's like, so I'm gonna add everyone to shows. And that was another staple of why people were going to it. Because it's like, holy shit, like we haven't seen this inclusive with gender norms.
That is oh my God.
It's
The
nuts.
thing that's so
bro.
crazy about that is because like I said 1 second ago, when you start to figure things out like that, you can really start to deconstruct like everything about yourself. There was a point in time where they weren't even doing co-ed like fashion shows and they weren't doing genderless clothing.
No.
All that shit that a lot of y'all will tell yourselves that make you a man or make you a woman was literally a societal standard that was reinforced for years and years and hundreds of years, matter of fact.
And the people who started don't even get that representation
And
in
mind
those
you,
spots.
mind you, the moment someone does something that bucks it or questions it or whatever, y'all react so negatively. These niggas couldn't even see the forest for the trees enough to do both, to do two genders in a thing. That's insane.
And
Because they had it so
now-
stratified for what you're supposed to do as a woman or what you're supposed to do as a man. That's so
They
crazy.
put you in that box.
Yeah.
Now, what I'm about to tell y'all will not believe this.
Okay.
And this is how creative this nigga is. And was looking at different avenues because he didn't want the funding from someone else. So he's like, I have to be creative. And then what I fucked with it about, because it's like, especially with that Kmart shit, you see a lot of up and coming designers, especially established designers, they think they need to put a high price point and make it more exclusive to legitimize the fact that they are a fashion designer, which in
Nigga
actuality,
just starting
you
out gonna
don't.
charge like $500 for a fucking hoodie. Come on, bro.
Literally. And then hold on, let me see if I can find it. I wanted to read his slogan of it. It was not for you, it's for everyone. And that's the slogan of Telfar. So they were looking for another opportunity to make this explode more. They get on the phone to kind of to pitch this idea. I'm not going to tell y'all who.
Not for.
And then they tried to pitch this idea, and then they just happened to get on the phone, and then the vice president of that company answered. I want y'all individually to guess which company you think it was.
Wait.
EA Sports.
Wait. So they got on the phone. Wait.
So they got on the phone with a company.
Okay.
And
A random company.
A random company. And the fact
It's a lot of companies.
and the vice president just answered on some random shit.
Okay.
And I wanted y'all to guess which company y'all think it is.
Is it a fashion?
Is it a fashion house?
No.
Is it
Walmart?
Oh, it's one of those types of companies?
Yeah.
Okay.
If it's fucking
first thing come to
Amazon,
mind.
I'm gonna walk off.
Target.
Fucking Walt.
First thing come to mind.
first thing that comes to mind? The EA shit.
White fucking Castle.
It was a white castle.
White Castle. It was White fucking Castle.
What does white castle have to do with?
They ended up just calling like White Castle. They were on like a customer service, and the vice president just happened to answer. And they
Wait, they were on customer service.
They pitched this idea to White Castle, and they ended up fucking with it so much they were like, okay, let's fund this show. So they on the show.
Nigga got funding from White Castle.
We gotta work hard.
We gotta work, bro. Insane.
That's crazy.
Pitched this idea. They were showing all the clothes, and then on the runway they had the clothes, and they were giving out White Castle to the people on the runway. Yes, nigga, he was different.
That's funny.
That's actually so crazy.
That's
And then
crazy.
even White Castle at the stores, they were funding the after party of the show. So all the workers had their Telfar shirts, and they're all going crazy in White Castle. Just
That's the most random.
That is so
That is
hard.
cool.
I fucked with them off of the what is it? The Chinatown thing in New York. Where like, you know, in New York, in that area, they have a whole bunch of like the vendors, and they'll have like the fake bags and stuff like that. I knew I fucked with him because he was saying how like he that's like good, like he like didn't fuck with it, and people were like, wait, you don't care that people like sell your bags for? He's like, no, why would I? He's like, if anything, it's just getting it out there, not
it's
only
free
to like
promo.
more people, free promo, but also like to people who can't afford the other
and
stuff.
also
You know what I mean? Like,
he's
literally.
making plenty money.
Yeah,
He's
He's
like,
making plenty of money.
Yeah.
And like I said, his slogan was not for you, it's for everyone. In a sense, he wanted it accessible.
Yeah, he wanted it to
And
be
I'm
accessible.
gonna
That's so
get to
dope.
the bag pricing because there's a value in that. And so after that White Castle show, everyone saw it, blew up. So then he ended up, if y'all don't know, it's called the CFDA Fashion Awards, kind of yearly, and that's where like the top designers of that year win that award and they get funding for their shit. He ended up winning. He got $400,000.
Okay.
So then after that, he was like, you know what? My bag is my most selling items. Let's use all this shit and stack up on the bags. And that's when, because he just recently won the CFDA. I think it was around 2020 or like, it was around that time.
Recent.
It was recent.
for
So
sure.
then he put all the money in the bags, sold out crazy. It was selling out, bro. Like everyone
you
couldn't
couldn't
get it.
one.
You
type.
couldn't get it.
It was like boom, like
Couldn't get it.
it would go live on the site and it's like boom, site crash done.
When I
Yeah,
helped,
gone.
no, it was so many times with my girl. It was like a pink Telfar. I forgot what like the name. It was like an iridescent pink Telfar bag. The day that shit dropped, my nigga, it sold out. You go on StockX, that's it like $500, $600, $700.
Immediate.
Like,
Yeah,
Jesus
immediately.
God
And
damn,
then
bro.
so then after that, buys it. It's selling out. So when I told y'all, a lot of designers, they sell the idea of exclusivity because it's like, okay,
Yeah.
well, if you want to be in this brand, not everyone can have it.
create
So
that
he wants
scarcity.
everyone to have it. So what he did was he ended up making this pre-order. I think it's called like a bag security program where you can pre-order the bag. So then after that, their sales like times 10 because everyone was pre-ordering the bag so that everyone can get it. So that was like a real cool thing to kind of just include everyone.
crazy.
And
That's
you
so
live
cool.
by exactly what you're saying with no funding, no help, and all that.
and that is
And that's why you can start your own lane. But this is what I want to talk about with the price point of the bag, because usually they run around like $150 to $250. And I thought he was bullshitting until I actually looked at in it. He was not bullshitting.
No, it's
the reason why he made that price point the way it did, because I told y'all he used to DJ. He made that price point because he was like, okay, that was the amount of money he would used to get sometimes when he DJ. So that's why he made the price point of that.
Wait, how much was it again?
It was 150 to like
150 to
250. Yeah,
'Cause
he was
he-
like around
that's
that range.
so
he would get
hard.
paid that to
And
DJ.
the thing
Man.
too, the new bag that he just dropped, like the circle one, the original price point was like 360 or something like that. But I think it was recently he lowered it down to like 180 or something like that. So now
That's
everybody
crazy.
can get
Crazy.
that shit. And he restocks it. Like if there's a certain bag that you want and it's gone because it's sold out, he's restocking that bitch.
crazy. That's
It's
dope.
insane. And I just told y'all all this, all by himself, no funding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's
Creating
why
your
bro,
own lane.
create
Mind you,
Creating your own
and
lane.
again,
It's
Need that
fashion.
white
again,
validation.
it's
there
fashion.
and there's a way that you can go about this shit. Like I feel like one of the reasons why I fuck with all the shit that he'll do so much is because it's kind of that acknowledgement that like, hey, you don't make money without the people buying your shit.
Exactly.
So let me bend over backwards to like at least do as far as you can go as somebody who's like wealthy to like, all right, I do want y'all to keep buying my shit and to keep giving me money. So let me accommodate you as well and not be a complete evil dickhead. Like,
Exactly.
like
People
yeah.
like that exist, but
Yeah.
the fact the system creates this narrative that you need to support these overly ridiculously priced houses to actually feel included in fashion is completely
That's what it
incorrect,
is.
bro.
It's that they have that the brand recognition and the name recognition does not inherently mean best quality or work the hardest to get there.
Oh, I'm already
but
knowing,
they have a but then that
I'm about to fry some people.
Yeah, exactly.
We know.
And that's a thing that applies to a lot of different industries, but that's why it's so important to understand that like, hey, they not only have a monopoly on like the market or whatever fuck, they have that monopoly on what is considered legitimate. Even if a lot of them didn't follow that same shit either. But that's like you said, like that's why supporting those other brands are super important.
Yeah,
And
for sure.
It's very important that we highlight these designers, and especially if they're not a part of those houses, because they need to be highlighted. Especially, I just told y'all all the innovations that most houses picked up from them. Everyone needs to know shit like that. And I think it's very important to start your own lane and stop chasing.
And I
start
genuinely
your
think,
own lane in
especially
everything.
someone like Martine Rose, she can do this shit.
She can do it, and she
Like-
has been doing it. She
Yeah,
does not
she
give, she has not
been
publicly
cold.
Exactly.
Been cold.
Exactly.
Like, lock it.
Yeah, and
Lock it.
I think that starting your own lane is something that applies to fashion, but it also applies to like having your own opinions about the world. I feel like there's so many opportunities to be unique, but they all come with like the fear that like, oh, someone gonna call you out or you gonna feel bad about yourself with a thing. But when you follow the crowd and you chase that validation, you end up saying and doing fucked up shit.
anything.
Or setting yourself up in the trap.
Yeah, something that comes to mind was Travis Hunter, if we want to get into it. and how the discourse on the internet about his entire situation, as written, how the discourse on that entire situation has like chaos.
Transition of chaos.
But how that shaked out, because I remember seeing, I'm not a super football head, nor am I a super like Travis Hunter head, but I saw, because I follow sports and everything, I saw some like little stories here and there a few months ago about him and his girl, and stories about when they'd be at parties and XYZ. And since then, the internet has been dogging him and her, and then something just happened the other day. So
right, the other day, if you don't know who Travis Hunter is, Travis Hunter is I know, right? Heisman winner. You know what I mean? He's a wide receiver, and I don't know if he plays. I don't know his exact position, but I think he's like wide receiver, like DB. He plays both sides. I know he's either like a DB or someone else. But he's on the Jags. He just got drafted.
From where? From where? The Jags are from where?
Jacksonville.
Okay.
Wait, right?
No, people don't.
No.
Jaguars.
Jacksonville Jaguars. Yeah, right. He's on the Jags, and he just got drafted 2nd overall. Heisman winner. Plays both sides of the ball. Absolutely incredible. Yeah. In generational player. He's a generational talent, right? Over the weekend, he got married on some shit. I think he's like our age. I'm pretty sure someone fact checked, but
I'm pretty sure he is. I've been seeing.
He got like 22, 23.
Yeah. I found out somebody that I went to middle school with like yesterday has like a wife and a son, and I was like, what the hell? Yeah, I will tell y'all who it is after. But I was like,
do we know her?
Yeah, no, you know him. It's a dude. Yeah.
Oh, I know who you're talking about.
I'm
not saying it, but I know his buddy now.
Yeah, his buddy now. We went to school.
We went to school.
Travis is 22.
Yeah,
he's 22.
Yeah. So he's 1 year older than us.
That's crazy.
Jesus. It could get there. 1 year older than us. But yeah, he just got married over the weekend. And I was excited for him because I was like, you know what, bro? At the end of the day, bro, it's like, what are you gonna say? You know what I mean?
I also don't dick ride a nigga enough to not be happy to see somebody.
Exactly. Right? So I was happy for him. And then it happened.
Right? And then the comments were open.
Though, before you get into it. Why are niggas like, you see somebody get married and your gut feeling automatically goes to continue?
So I go in the comments and
should have never.
Everybody is like, I'm pretty sure the top like 3 comments I saw was, I can't wait till he like finds out, or like he'll fuck around and find out.
Lonely ass.
When they get a divorce, let me know.
Trash ass.
Just like divorce in 5, like. All types of mind you, this is a 22-year-old man, right? So let's talk about the brief history of why would people say that? Why would people be like, okay, etc. Right? So basically, right, he's been with this girl. I think her name's here. Let me not fuck her name up. Her name's Leanna, right? Her name's Leanna. He's been with this girl for 3 years. She goes to all his games. She supports him, all types of stuff on paper, right? And then they see something. This happened like last season, I'm pretty sure, where there was a instance where I believe what happened was, I can't really remember, but I covered it like a long time ago. I believe he was talking to like either cheerleaders, and he was just it was after a big win. Like he was talking to someone, and she looked like really irritated, right? She looked like they were arguing or something like that. And of course,
the internet speculation.
Yeah, bro. They caught it, so they immediately were like, "Oh, why was she on his ass?" Da 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 da. Right. Mind you, right before this happened, there's key things that happened right before this happened. One of the key things is he started getting like put in that conversation for Heisman, but also him and her had made like some video and it blew the fuck up of them dancing in like some onesies, and everybody was like, damn, his girl bad as hell, da 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 da. There was mixed feelings. Also, there was a lot of people like, oh, y'all gonna keep messing with these white girls. She's not a white girl. She's like, I'm pretty sure she's Hispanic of some sort. But like there was like, you gonna keep messing with these white girls.
People talk.
Yeah, people talk. You're gonna be mixed emotions, whatever, right? That video comes out. And then that kind of starts toppling shifting over the tower, right? Everything starts shifting, right? On top of that, then these are Colorado boys we talk about, so you know, dick riding regardless, dick sucking regardless. So these niggas was already on Shadura ass. And it was already, they're not even that good. Travis shouldn't win the Heisman. It should be Aston Jeanty. All types of shit fucking amidst all this, right? What do people start doing? People start digging. So then they start finding videos of her in like music videos with other niggas. Way before they got together, I'm assuming, right? But either way, it's none of our fucking business.
Yeah.
Whether, like, for instance,
and either way, you could be paid to be in a music video as like a thing because you are,
like a thing,
and not be fucking the nigga.
Like,
why?
It's a music video. I was literally about to say, like, even then, like,
God damn.
fucking business, but like, cool, whatever. Music videos come out, Snapchat shit come out, a whole, like, when I tell you they media circuited these niggas, like, they're like,
they got their hands on this relationship.
Yeah,
just
digging.
It was like, I remember that time, it was like one video after another. It was like the music video.
Yeah.
And then it was like more
Snapchat,
shit of like the Snapchat, bro.
Then
over
they
and
start
over.
going in old clips and saying, like, she was basically saying in one video that, like, she didn't even, like, she left him on red in her DMs for like 2 months. And then, like, he, like, there was another one where he was like, he waited in a car for her while she was in a party. Like, whole bunch of shit, right? She comes out and drops a video, and she's like, this is like a few months ago. So she comes out, drops a video, and she's basically like, okay, I'm debunking all this shit. This is what actually happened. She ends up going into detail about the reason why she didn't text him for 2 months. The nigga had a girlfriend and was like actively basically cheating on his girlfriend. Which no nigga want to mention that part. Yeah. It's in the fucking video. She mentioned the shit. Type. He was actively cheating on the shorty. She didn't want to bring that up. A whole bunch of shit. She basically goes through, debunks it, talks about how much she loves him, talks about how much, like, it's so much shit getting spun, narratives, all types of shit. Then,
which you shouldn't have to do.
Which you shouldn't have to do.
But she did.
It's a bunch of lonely ass niggas.
But what, you know what I'm saying?
If you're a woman and you're in a relationship and you're even seen talking to another man, you're a whore. That's what it is.
Especially on the internet. Like,
on the
internet. Where all these niggas have not seen, like, or felt
have not touched
in 5 years.
Real.
Or ever yet, because they're like 12.
Real.
So,
He like 13
That's really what
he a bunch of 13-year-olds. So then he wins the Heisman. And there's another Heisman ceremony where all of the family sitting there. She's in the front with the mom, with Dion, everybody. He wins the Heisman. Everybody, oh my God. She doesn't get up, right? She sits there. Dion goes, and then they all get up. What is the internet?
that alone.
I wouldn't
fuck with the boy.
I ain't gonna. She needs to stand up for the nigga. Come on, guys.
See, I wouldn't take no. Nigga, you're on your fucking couch.
You know what's hilarious about this shit? I was talking about this.
He's not getting close to the NFL draft.
like nuts, right? And this is why though. This is why you cannot beat the internet, right? The internet is the most bitter baby mama, and I've been seeing a lot. I've been seeing a lot of people talk about the whole bitter baby mama shit. The internet is the most bitter baby mama.
Chances are it's talking about you and
talking about you. Your dumb ass sitting there on the couch. You know what I'm saying? What is she supposed to do? And I want to pose this question anyway. What does she do in that scenario? If she sits there and they say, and the winner of the 2024 Heisman Trophy winner is Travis Hunter, and she and jumps up, what are they gonna say? Damn, she trying to take this nigga money.
Yeah, you gotta watch out for that.
You gotta watch out for it. If she sits there and is like, okay, let me wait for it. You know what I'm saying? Travis Hunter. Damn, she
don't really care if she do both. At the
like she don't really care, but she can. But she really
niggas are cavemen. Like niggas are dumb. Like and you genuinely can't beat it. And what I mean by that, literally speaking, is the narratives, right?
Yes.
People have such a hard time pulling themselves out of their own ass and understanding someone's perspective on a different side of that screen. And that's what that screen does. That screen allows for you to have no consequences for not, like, for instance, right? If you're let me finish the statement, because I you know what I'm gonna say is I'm gonna say this. I be making clips and I be like, damn, this is a really good clip. And then I'll realize that I just cut off my own sentence, and I'm like, motherfucker. People have a genuine issue. I did just do it. People have a genuine issue with taking themselves out of their own whatever it is and putting yourself in someone else's shoes, right? Understanding that perspective. And that's what the internet has enabled. The internet has enabled us to not have to do that because you're sitting at the comfortability of your home. You can see everything, right? Versus at work versus at school, but you always have to put yourself in other people's shoes. You always have to better perspectives because they're right there, one, but also because there's consequences. There's real consequences for the ideologies or the thing. You can't go in school and say, hell because you're going to go to the principal's office. You're going, but. On the internet, you can do whatever the fuck you want to do.
Say whatever.
You say whatever the fuck you want to do.
And also, you're not going to be pressing this big ass football player who's a generational talent about his relationship in person.
No,
exactly.
You're not.
Never. You're gonna sit there like
you're going to ask for
You're going to sit there like a good bitch. And you're going to say, Travis can't get
Can you say
I know how you won the Heisman.
like you're just real. No, real. That's what it is, right? And with this situation, I'm not saying, because, Matt, you don't know the ins and outs of
that's because these niggas sorry and y'all would let your girl go into the party without. Please shut the fuck up.
I'm not telling you what I would do with my girl.
Yeah.
I'm not telling you anything. I'm telling you, nigga, go outside.
Yeah.
Literally.
You got 40-year-olds in comment sections hating on a 22-year-old's relationship with his girl.
Y'all talking about divorce in 5.
If this same girl walked up on you in the most respectful way possible, she looks very good. If this same girl walked up on your dumb ass in a party, you're like losing it.
Can you formulate a sentence?
Can't say shit.
And the fucked up thing with her I want to mention is like there has been no winning from her from the start.
No
In a
winning.
sense, the video he was talking about where they kind of over sexualized her. This was like when this had to been like what, September?
Yeah, this was like early. This was early.
It was a video of them. They were in pajamas. He was talking about, and they were dancing, and all the comments were like like
holy shit,
holy
shit, her heart, her this, her there, her that.
And it was like this weird. He was like, "Oh, I know, Travis doing it well."
Yeah.
Like you're like right there, right? You are on the cusp of something else. Express yourself.
Yeah.
Express how you really feel.
It was a nigga.
Express how you.
It was a nigga in the comments, literally. And he was like, yeah, bro, I know Travis having a good time. Yeah. Go beat your shit. Like, you're losing. Get off the
Go in your closet.
You remember that white noise, that white background?
Go on YouTube,
Just
search up white background and just turn it on.
Just look at it. No music in your room.
And process what the fuck is going on. Because that's once you reach that point. Again, because like you said, there's consequences to the shit. Y'all don't even see people as human. This is what I was trying to say earlier when I was like, I want to give people the tools to understand shit in a certain context last week, is because the tool is, these are humans.
Yep.
Yes, there's social expectations with like women and men, and parsing that out is like cool. But at the end of the day, these are human beings you're talking about. So when you get on the internet and you go in the comment section and you're so divorced from reality that you can in the same breath be like, this girl, I know Travis having a good time. And then 1 millisecond later be like, Travis need to get up out of there. He's not having a good time. Like, because he didn't stand up. You're done.
Nobody
turn on the white noise.
Listen, nobody is saying.
Turn on the jam.
This is the thing, right? It's like, you're right, bro. I don't know the ins and outs of their relationship, but I'm happy for you. Because that's like, at the end of the day, bro, that's me understanding that, like, this isn't my girl. This isn't, I don't give a fuck. Why would I give a fuck?
You don't know the ins and outs of the relationship, but you are the 0.1% of men who can admit that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like
fine saying you don't know.
It's fine being like, I don't know.
Exactly.
Shit. Instead of like, bro, this nigga, he's had his comments off for like the past 6 months. It's that bad. And they know it too. That's why like all the other news platforms posting this shit on some shady shit. Congratulations.
They finally got married. They know exactly
what the fuck you're doing. You know what the comments is doing.
Yeah.
And not to say, we brought this up as well. Not to say, well, we'll get into that later, but not to say that like there could never be anything wrong. Nobody is saying that. But you grown ass 20, 30, 40-year-olds that are sitting in these comment sections being miserable. You don't have a boyfriend. Your kids can't fucking eat at night.
Yeah.
Worry about some other shit.
Yeah.
It's like, damn.
But
go ahead.
I was gonna say what you're also doing is you're setting up that ticking time bomb for like not like victim blaming in the sense that Travis gonna do some crazy shit. Da, da, da. You hope that nothing happens between them, obviously. But you're now setting up that ticking time bomb where the moment anything is amiss, you've already had
You've already. This is your you're weaponizing. That's the perspective. You have now sat in your shit for the past year. Yeah. So if anything happened, which anything can happen, now you're unable to attack that situation without bias.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Unable to do that. You cannot do that. And sorry. No.
There's one question I got to ask these niggas, right? Paying attention to or criticizing the relationship, does that, like, him being in a relationship with Shorty, how does that make you, like, can you eat? Does it make you eat differently, sleep differently, take a shit differently, shower differently? If the answer is no, please shut the fuck up.
It don't make you treat women differently because you don't learn shit about how to apply it to your own life. You worried on what someone else doing.
Talk about it.
There's a lot of people, and I will say this, right? There's a lot of people that would say the same thing about us and be like, well, y'all are talking about it. I want to bring up that you brought up criticism, right? You and this is
100 niggas versus criticism.
100 niggas versus criticism. I want to bring up criticism. There are different things between hating and constructive criticism, right?
Talk about it.
Transition of dude. Let's talk about Streamers University. Let's get into this doom day because a lot of people don't understand. A lot of people don't understand the difference between criticism and constructive criticism. In this case,
hating and constructive.
In this case, they done got married. They done did the ring thing. You've seen it all. They're smiling. They're happy. At that point is when it has changed from constructive criticism to hate. Because you're looking at this person. He looks happy. She looks happy. They just got married. Everybody around them says they're happy. And he's turning off his comments because he doesn't want to hear all y'all bullshit. Gang, let team vibe, right? But if I talk about Stream University, the good, bad, and the ugly, now I'm hating because this is someone who in the public eye is loved right now, is adored right now, and that's another part of that perspective that people can't take their head out there. Right?
Mind you, two black men.
Yeah,
two black men who are doing amazing shit, generational shit that we've never seen before. One Kai Cenat, the other one Travis Hunter. And because the online narrative has been, we not fucking with Travis Hunter and his girl is doing him bogus or whatever, that nigga will get endless seeds of hate. His girl is doing him bogus.
It's his girl that's allowing you to do that.
Yeah. Not even
a point before we even transition is the fact of when you were talking about how the whole social media thing is like everyone can say anything. I think also another bad thing of like social media is how you see a lot of people's experiences and you hear a lot of stories of the shit they go through with women, or you hear a lot of people talking about their opinions of women, and a lot of people have an experience that are able to take their perspective or their experience and apply it to a situation that you have not been through.
Yeah,
and I feel like that's so many times when it comes to shit like this.
To that point, realistically, intellectual people, to be honest with you, I'm gonna keep it a bean. Now, more so now, but I would say in the past, intellectual people who have those perspectives, who are able to understand nuance, usually aren't on the internet because they understand the nuance of being like, let me put my phone down and go outside.
It's not even that. It's not even that it's boring as well. It's that you can.
Well, I wouldn't say it's. I would. You have to be creative. Yeah, but I would
because
say
niggas don't want to hear that.
I would say the perspective. We need that perspective. So I wouldn't say it's boring, but you do have to be creative in that. Let's talk about Kaiser. I don't want to get too off topic because Stream University. Stream University. If you don't know let me give a brief Stream University. So one, hi. I'm what y'all at. I'm a streamer. Stream University is basically what streaming is because I know there's a lot of new people. We really haven't talked about streaming topics in a few.
We haven't even talked about our own personal anything mainly.
We know,
he's a Twitch streamer.
So what streaming is though? Streaming is basically you're live streaming yourself or something, right? For instance, if I'm making a YouTube video, the stark difference between YouTube and a platform like Twitch is YouTube, I'm pressing record on a video, saying hi, my name is etc., pressing done, editing it, throwing it out there. Twitch is I'm pressing start stream or live,
and now they can see
me in real time, just like, you know what I mean, any news show, etc. No teleprompter, no nothing. You know what I mean? So what Kai Cenat did, right? If Kai Cenat is the biggest streamer on the platform, what Kai Cenat did, he started something called Stream University. Stream University was basically like a collection of streamers all together in a college campus, on a college campus, streaming for, I believe it was like 4 total days. And they were streaming basically, most of them were streaming like 24 hours. Had activities, a bunch of professors, all types of shit.
What was the purpose of?
I was gonna say
the purpose of so the framing. So people are like, well, why? The purpose of Stream University was Cenat wanted to bring people together, do sort of like a networking thing. He wanted to put on for like smaller streamers. Obviously, someone like Cenat, who has millions upon millions of dollars and like followers, put it on younger, like smaller streamers, someone like me, right?
So how did they go about doing that?
So well, first, before we get into that, I do want to talk about the accolades, right? So Stream University is done now, right? Y'all can go watch it, look it up or something like that if you want to find out more about it.
I've been seeing the clips all over Reels.
Yeah, clips, funny as shit. Funny as shit.
I'm not gonna lie, it's been fun.
It's been funny as motherfucker. Hell yeah.
Which
and that's why I want to. Oh shit! I just smacked the fuck out my mic, and that's why I want to. And that's why it was fun. It is funny as shit. And that's why I don't want to take the angle of hating on Cenat, and that's why I also brought up the constructive criticism thing. Because I do not want, disclaimer for all you dick suckers that still gonna suck. Yeah. I don't want this is not a we hate Cenat. This is not a we hate Stream University. Right. This is
nuance.
Yes, nuance. Understand that this is a different perspective and this is constructive criticism. From what we've seen, also being in this content shit for 10 fucking years. Yes, we're not Cenats, but we do have a J. William J. and an A.B. to fucking up. Go fuck yourself. Like, what are we talking about? So there was 39 known streamers. There was 81 new content creators, basically like up-and-coming content creators. In total, in 4 days, which wrap your head around this if you don't understand how this content shit works. In 4 days, there were 23 million content hours watched.
God, that's ridiculous.
What that means is, 4 days, 72 hours is 3 days. What's 4 days? 96?
96, I believe.
Oh, bang out. Math. Oh my God.
It's 96, yep.
96 hours. That means if I sat my ass down and watched everything, it would be 96 watch hours on some shit, right?
One person.
Yeah, one person. 23 million watch hours. That's how many people tuned into this shit. Bro. They broke it down into years. That is 2,739 years.
In 4 days.
In 4 days.
There's something that
that's nuts. That's like you can't wrap your head around.
You can't.
That shit.
And I seen a video, I guess Kai, he was explaining that, like, I guess who was it? Netflix?
Yeah, Netflix.
They were trying to pick this shit up.
They were trying to basically pick up Streamer University as an entire, entire thing,
so you
right?
said it's 23 million.
Yeah, 23 million content hours watched.
Wow. I could probably put it on JJ Soul. Half of them didn't, like, wash their ass while they were watching.
Yeah, I didn't watch a lick of that.
I've only seen clips.
I've only seen the clips. But I do want to point out, this is Cenat. This is a pioneer black streamer who has now done, like, multiple crazy ass things to completely change this streaming culture, right? Which is like,
of course, you have to give props and flowers.
Gotta clap it up for the nigga, bro.
At the end of the day, a black man.
Innovator.
Black man, nigga, he's a fucking innovator, and we wouldn't. Someone like me, who is a black streamer, wouldn't be in this position right now without someone like him. And I can confidently say that in a sense of being like, what he's done for, he represents on Twitch and as a black man with locks. Niggas think we looked alike anyway.
Niggas think I look like
if you remember back before Kai was like big in streaming, usually the streaming format was gaming.
It was gaming. It wasn't much IRL content, and I know people are screaming at their screen. No, man, Aiden Ross, go fuck yourself. I would say,
even if that was true, I have alternative facts.
It is true to an extent, but like, go fuck yourself. But
exploit black people.
Yeah, exactly. Exploit black people on some shit. Exploit the black culture and say, go fuck yourself, white man. Anyways, So let's talk about the controversy surrounding it, right? Why are we talking about it on the podcast, right? Not to say that we only talk about controversy, but bringing up a different perspective, right? Talking about the controversy around it. So the framing of it. This was one of my biggest points about framing, and I'm not going to dwell too much on it because at the end of the day, but framing of it. So to frame this event as networking for smaller streamers, I personally think, you don't have to respect it, But I personally think that there was a better way to actually conduct something like a streaming university more than how it is. The way it was, right? And people are saying how, right? The way it was is those 39 known people weren't known as in like million follower known. Well, there was some of them that was like that known, but there was also some of them that was like DDG, who is like, like some people might not know who DDG is. I get it. Like people think Hallie put DDG on. Cool. I'm
in the Twitch world.
in the Twitch world, in the content world. Fuck no. Hell no.
Especially recently with his most blow up.
He's been I'm gonna give it a B. Elon Musk. He's been a Elon Musk. DDG is a Elon Musk in terms of like his industry. Like always has been. He's been a mogul in this content shit for years, right? Regardless of what you think.
Yeah,
I'm telling you.
We've been watching it. I'd probably give DDG more creativity like credit than even Elon Musk.
Yeah,
that nigga, he just had bread and throwing it at you.
Yeah, for sure.
Right.
So you're putting people like that in this thing, and not just one. No. You're putting A&P, you're putting Kai's friends, you're putting all types of huge people in it. And where that becomes a problem, well, Matt, there's 80 new people and only 40 of them. That's a lot of new people. That's a lot of that ratio. That's a 2-to-1 ratio, damn near, right? You have 80 fucking new people, and you have 39 fucking you know what I mean? That's like
big stream
40 to 80 on some shit. Right. The problem with that is now this is not a networking event in a sense. It turns into more so, okay, we have a bunch of big streamers that are role playing being in college, which is cool, but what are we watching now at this point? So let's just say, for instance, right, the JAAM was in that exact same environment. There might be our fans, some people that fuck with us, right? But most people are watching to see how DDG and them would react are acting or reacting in a college setting, because these people, Kai Cenat, DDG, A&P, all of these people have never been in college.
Yeah.
That's what we're watching.
So
we're watching DDG go to college.
I was going to say, there's a way that you can, because I agree with Matt. Remember, we've talked about it a lot. The thing that I agree with is that I do think that there was a better way to approach it, because for the sake of example, right? Let's take the JAAM example. Let's say that the JAAM wanted to go to an event that's supposed to be networking and putting on like bigger or smaller podcasts and everything. And the thing wasn't just networking, linking up with them, maybe off camera, doing whatever, making content together. It wasn't that. It was that all of us are going to be live streaming our podcast at the exact same time. And in that room, it is us live streaming at the same time as Joe Rogan, at the same time as fucking Fresh and Fit, at the same time as whatever other podcast, fucking Grits and Eggs, at the same time as Tim Pool's bullshit ass podcast. Like all of us going at the same time, right? Now, y'all will probably be watching us.
It's not to say we won't benefit.
Now imagine
we won't get a few followers.
Now imagine, take the video you're watching right now and duplicate this exact setup 80 times. And all you do is just switch out who's in the chair. Who the fuck is going to watch us when Ben Shapiro and Joe Rogan and everything are sitting in the exact same setup, one video over?
Yeah, or Logan Paul is doing an interview with like fucking Elon Musk, or you know what I mean? Just or like anything.
So what effectively happened was this event that's supposed to be like putting on for smaller streamers, you kind of shot yourself in the foot, because when I open up Twitch and I see 40, because the number of bigger streamers you increase, you put in there, is going to decrease the amount of people who are going to watch the smaller ones. So if you have 40 different big ass like fan bases already there, and all I'm looking at on the feed is the same beige college dorm background, but DDG's in the middle of it in one of them, and then a random nigga I don't know is next to him with the same setup. The only thing I know about these thumbnails is DDG sitting right there. So I'm going to click and see what DDG's saying.
Especially considering, right, we're not talking 10,000 viewers. No. Kai Cenat, I'm pretty sure, peaked at like 700K.
God damn.
Oh my God.
And DDG got the most views of any streamer.
DDG got the most like watch hours of anybody, because he streamed for 24 hours the entire time. Which again, what I'm saying is right. The framing of it, I genuinely think this is a problem. I feel in a sense it's stat padding from Kai Cenat, right?
And this is what I felt about it, right? I felt as if when I was rewatching it, I think it was in a sense like a movie. Like, for example, a movie, you got the main character. You got the main characters, which would be the biggest streamers like DDG, Agent, and all them, right? Then you have like kind of like the supporting cast, which is like the middle to kind of big creators, but you don't really
like you've seen them maybe once or twice.
But you don't really know.
You've seen them, yeah.
And then you got the background.
Yeah.
But in this case, I felt like the background had an opportunity to be the main character at one point.
Okay.
But it's not likely though.
This is the thing. This is why.
Yeah, you have to like
You have to literally
hide
him.
Yeah.
There was somebody named. Sorry to cut you off, but his name was like I think Corey.
Yeah, Corey. Yeah, I saw that.
Like
that was a funny ass
nigga.
fucking clip. But like, that's what you got to do to stand out.
And the two things going to what y'all was saying, you have to do something like that because you look at the ratio. You're like, holy shit, DDG's here, Duke's here, Agent's here. I have to do the most craziest shit to stand up against niggas who are already popping.
Which then. Again, you could have nipped this problem in the bud and just did your Avengers celebration of 40 streamers, and then you get the accomplishment of, oh, Kai brought together all these streamers, and it's just pure entertainment because it's all your favorite streamers, whatever. The moment you introduce okay, I'm going to try to put people on, you can't say you're going to do that and then put no safeguards to actually ensure that happens.
For instance, okay, so what safeguards? Okay, if it's me, DDG and them are not streaming 24 hours, 24/7.
Something like that.
Because when I end stream, and when a few other people end stream, where are they going to go? They're going to go to you with DDG, who's sitting in the room with India Love. You feel me? Like my nigga, they're going to go to you versus the smaller streamers who's in the same dorm as you, but like they don't have access or just aren't comfortable enough just walking up to India Love or Lala Baptist or any of these. I'm just naming people who are big. Be like, hey, let's sit on, you want to sit on my stream and stream? They're not comfortable with that. So not to say that it was all a bad thing, but I just feel like if it was more flushed out and thought through, there could have been more of an impact, right? And this comes also, though, in light of a few different situations that I felt it's kind of like we start to. So what's the broader point of Streamer University? Because here on the Jam, we always have a broader point. The broader point we start to get at is, okay, like how much care are we putting into these things? How far is this content shit going, et cetera, right? One situation I want to quickly bring up is the Zoe Spencer situation, right? The Zoe Spencer situation was another streamer that Kai Cenat was cool with. They recently had a fallout because she didn't get into Streamer University. And I watch both clips. I see all the shit they say about Zoe. Of course, they're immediately jumping on Zoe for being a weirdo. Now, granted, the girl
was doing
weird.
some weird
she
shit.
did some weird. She's a weirdo. She's biting people. She do too much.
She bit Duke.
But yeah, she done bit like she was
bit Duke.
Yes.
One of her things is like biting. But yeah, clip farming. No, but it's that clip farming shit, right? But also the specific event that Kai was talking about, where him and her like really. He was like, this really changed my perspective on it. Was also the same exact situation where the only reason why the thing that happened, which was her yelling at him and embarrassing him in front of a whole bunch of people, that happened because he called her a bitch on stream. Like, I guess maybe how you sure you're joking, that's your thing, but also like
you just call her a bitch.
You called her a bitch
mad that
in front of hundreds of thousands of people and in a new setting. Okay, maybe at your crib calling her a bitch is one thing. Maybe at somebody else's house calling her a bitch is one thing. Here, you don't know how she interprets that situation. You don't know, oh my God, that's embarrassing for her, right? So I think that was a weird situation in itself. You have another situation, which then he kind of said it, he left it alone, and then
Illuminati took that bitch.
Sorry, Illuminati's another stream. You don't need to worry about these people. So he's a 30-year-old nigga who just says nut shit, right?
Yeah.
He took it and started saying crazy shit. Kai, you didn't fuck the bitch, right? You didn't fuck the bitch. She doing all this shit. You ain't fucked the bitch.
That's nuts to be saying.
That's nuts considering this is someone that Kai put on. So like that's just blatant disrespect.
So
okay,
cool. Had no reason to be in that situation at all. Just clip farming to get back in the
clout farm shit. You had a whole bunch of people jumping on that situation. Then there was the Mr. Beast situation. Can we see the Mr. Beast clip? If you guys don't know,
I know the timeline. Been fucking with it too,
if y'all don't know, this is the hood Mr. Beast. It's a picture. Sorry, it's not a clip. If y'all don't know, there's this trend going on right now. That's what this is. Yeah, it's right here.
Which
hood Mr. Beast.
Mr. Beast seems like he knows what's going on, but he seems like.
If you don't know who Mr. Beast is the most subscribed YouTuber on the platform with like some 300,000 million subs or some crazy shit like that. He's also a billionaire. And like, He's a great guy. Honestly, well,
I feel like he
seems to be a great guy. Cool. He does a lot of community work. He does a lot of stuff for like all types of shit.
He went to like Africa.
And he went to Africa and Wells. He's done a whole bunch. He's a philanthropist. Just a lot of cool shit he does, right? But this is what the fuck are we doing? So Hood Mr. Beast, right? So basically, people was putting AI images of like Mr. Beast on like black people, basically. Like
because he got money.
Yeah,
he got hella money,
but he don't flex.
He don't flex.
So they was like, Hood Mr. Beast, he flexing and doing all money spreads. He decides to jump on the trend and
buy into it, get a different cut.
Yeah, get a different cut and do the whole trend. And it blew up. It was
fade and shit.
It was funny. It was cool. It was funny. And then as you know, white people, I swear I don't hate white people, you know. But like as they do, they drag it. Yeah. And then he's like, well, yeah, I'm doing it again. Hood Mr. Beast Part 2. And it's him with Kai fucking Cenat. Jesus Christ.
Bro. That's a horrible.
Is Kai Cenat like the token hood nigga with dreads and backwards cap?
Yeah.
That we share money with? And Jesus
and
Christ.
It's so funny because it's like, we talk about this all the time, like that people would call that ghetto, especially the main people who consume Mr. Beast's content, mainly white people.
So this is the framing of that, and this is why I was getting on the constructive criticism of someone like a Kai Cenat. You have to understand things, nigga. Yeah. I don't know how many times I gotta fucking say it. It's not that they don't fuck with you. These niggas don't fuck with you, but it's not that they don't like you as a person, but they don't understand you as a nigga. Yeah. So if a Mr. Beast fan base is the exact same fan base, right? Which it is, that will sit there and see an Angel Reese and see all of these other like instances of like certain black people, black culture, etc., and immediately say, "Oh, that's ghetto. That's this. That's that. Oh, thugs. That's this." And then Mr. Beast is like, "Hey, Kai, I have a trend. There's that Hood Mr. Beast saying you want to like post up and take pictures with me." You have to understand the implications of those pictures.
You do, bro.
The implications of those pictures is that Mr. Beast, found one of his black friends, got some money, got the fucking backwards cap, and now I'm a hood nigga. Nigga, you're Kai Cenat.
Yeah.
Stop it.
And you want to know what?
Stop it.
And again, it's not to say that niggas can't have fun with shit, right?
Yeah. But don't let that. Why degrade yourself in that aspect?
But okay. Intelligent fun. Okay? You don't have to be a fucking idiot.
You don't.
In situations to laugh, to make a joke. Yes, I understand some people get their feelings hurt very easily about like certain shit or whatever. And that's some shit you'll never get away from because people feel all types of way about all types of different things.
Right.
But at the end of the day, you can approach these situations differently. I am not going to take a picture with Kai Cenat with bills out flexing, talking about Hood JJ, because I'm
he
not.
He could have just been in the photo for himself instead of putting Kai Cenat in there.
Because I'm not from. No. What I was gonna say is I'm not from the hood.
Yeah.
I don't even personally feel comfortable, even though I'm a nigga and I have locks and I have a hat that I wear backwards at times. I wouldn't even feel comfortable doing a trend like this because I'm like, that's just not like I'm nigga. We didn't grow up with money for real until like a certain point, but I'm not a hood nigga and I don't want to like give that impression XYZ. Neither is Mr. Beast.
I think it's more
Mr. Beast is so far removed from it that he makes me look like I was
a big thing I wanted to say
in Cabrini Green. Like
so. Why it's so fucked up? Because it's like, especially with Kai being there, and niggas would be like, bro, it's just a joke. No, it's like the same people that would demonize our culture are the same people who will use a nigga like him as that command.
Exactly. Mind you, that picture right there is what a lot of people are convinced that niggas are doing with their money, and that's why we don't have money. Because they take out the bills.
So the problem is this: it's not even in a sense of like, who's hood, who's not hood.
Yeah.
Kai Cenat grew up in the Bronx. He probably grew up worse than me. Real spill, I was in the burbs.
Yeah.
Gang, it's not even a matter of who's hood, who's not hood. It's the implications of, okay, what are people going to say and see when they see this?
Yeah.
This is the same thing where white people be like, well, I have black friends. Yeah. And then Mr. Beast, the billionaire, just grabbed his black friend to go do hood cosplay. Fucking Christ.
And the shit he has on purple jeans and that probably he'll never wear again.
Yeah. Mind you, you know what you could have? You want to know what hood Mr. Beast could have been? This nigga could have just got somebody who's like a fashion like creator or designer or some shit and had the nigga restyle himself and just bought some expensive ass clothes.
My thing is,
and then it could have been like, oh, this nigga Mr. Beast actually got some sauce. Like, oh shit.
or you could have just left it where you did. You took the pictures, the internet loved it. I fucked with it. I was like, that shit hard. And that's it.
And he literally, I remember, and mind you, again, like we said, mind you, like we said, again, we like fuck with Mr. Beast, and I know that he doesn't get it because he fucking put in like one of his captions. He was like, yeah, Mr. Beast, Hood Mr. Beast Part 2. I'm not quite sure what's going on. Which like that's a funny haha joke because like, why did I take this picture with this cut and everybody likes it this much? Da da. But also, yeah, you don't understand what's going on.
Exactly. Guys, in that you need to understand.
Yeah, guys, in that you should understand, and the fact that you don't opens yourself up to some dangerous shit.
I think Kai, in a sense, he understands what's going on,
but he doesn't want to be political,
the fact of not only he don't want to be political. I think it almost mixes with the stat pattern because you are that big celebrity. So it's like, okay, let me follow this trend. Let me do it.
Yes, of course. That's what I was gonna say. Back to the Streamer University thing. It's all well and good, right? And either way, get a nigga the flowers for what he was able to do, cool. But it's all, I think the problem becomes alleviated if you just frame it as a, yes, I'm gonna get the biggest, like no one like, there's very few people who have the pull of a Kai Cenat who can organize 40 big ass streamers.
Yeah.
So that can be the accomplishment in and of itself. I got 40 streamers, probably predominantly black.
Yeah,
and we had this.
Black. And we had this. I'm gonna give it. I didn't see a single black person on that campus. It was like straight black people. I genuinely don't think there was many like other races. Which is cool.
So again, it was funny because when the list came out, it was a whole bunch of white people talking, oh damn, I did.
I did see that. I did see that. They had backlash. I'm like, yeah, stop making everything. Stop making everything about race. But I reposted that exactly. Stop making everything about race. So I was happy to see that. That could be the accomplishment in and of itself. You had all these black streamers, that's good. But that's what it could be. I've been to conferences before with other creators, and we didn't live stream the whole time. But I've like talked to people. We networked. I got communication with other creators in my field and everything. That's cool, all well and good, and that's a way that you really put on somebody who's an up-and-comer who can't walk up to India Love or whatever. Okay, but cool. Let me get in contact with somebody, a streamer who might be closer to her, and then we can X, Y, Z. That's all well and good, and that could be the accomplishment in and of itself. But framing it as I'm going to put people on, and then your top 5 list has you at number 3, has DDG at number 1, has Rakai at like number 2. You know, you could have really made a story here and be like, yay, at least one. Like this one streamer who no one knows about, they became the big story of the thing, and they really. But
there was a few of them that
it's
were
the
like
content. There's a couple that did blow up. Yeah, I heard.
It blew up, but at the same time, it's like, okay, one of them
was like out of sympathy.
It was out of sympathy. The girl, she blew up because people were like making fun of her on the campus, and then they like.
Which is not the best thing because then in like 4 months, how many people are going to be really locked in?
And then I saw another case
I'm sure she's a great person, great streamer, and I actually saw her on Twitch yesterday, and I was like, I'm gonna follow her. But like, it's not translated.
It's not translated. I think the overall thing of Stream University, and it ties into your point of stat padding. And I think it's a stat padding type thing because you genuinely could have put more time into this for it to work. And I think he had a good intention, but I think you fucked it up with the monetization of it because you know what? Let me put DDG, let me put funny, let me put all these popular things in. Rather, you know what? Let me just have mainly university with just small streamers. And you could have, and people could be like, well, you just can't have random niggas in your shit. Well, then put the effort to not just find random niggas in your shit.
Okay, well, and I didn't hear the random niggas thing, but at the same time, we live stream. Anything random can happen at any point. It happens all the time on live stream.
Regardless if you know they're
you could be IRL streaming and get robbed. You could be IRL streaming and catch someone on cam doing something. It happens literally all the time on Twitch.
And then what niggas in the Streamer University like grabbing like Kaya's ass?
Bro, there was a whole bunch of weird shit. Apparently people was fucking. A bunch of weird shit. So like, what are we talking about?
So I'm like, cool. There's a way that you can do this shit, right? And maybe that requires taking a political stance sometime. Because if you decided, hey, I want this to actually be a thing where I'm putting on like younger or smaller streamers. All right, cool. Let's have these interviews. Let's make sure you're not like a brand risk or whatever. And then cool, let me organize some events where I'm like front and center, we're going to do X, Y, Z. And maybe that works a little bit better. But to do that, you have to take a little extra step.
You do. And even brand risk in that aspect, you got Aiden Ross on your shit all the time. I want to talk about the AMAs though, right? This is another example.
This was right after it.
This is right after. He did the AMAs literally the day after, right? Cool ass stream he was in. I didn't watch it, but he was cool ass stream in there. Like basically like interviewing everybody. Let's watch this clip and then I'll go into detail why this clip matters and why this kind of overarching like brings in the broader point of like what we're talking about.
Nice to meet you.
Good to see you.
Hi. Hey, Sarah, it's Hi. Hi, Bob.
Hey,
how you doing?
Who let this guy in here?
Yeah.
Hey, where's Kanye at? We want to say we love Ye. We love Ye for being outspoken regardless, because it's America, and I think it's a great thing to live in a free country. Don't you? I think it's a free country.
So you really hopped on my stream, knowing my influence.
Yeah.
So come on here and say that.
I think he's a great guy that at the end of the day, you having a dialogue with him.
And that's what I'm going to say. I think I want to protect my energy.
Yeah, well, I think you letting him talk is a good thing.
But look, I'm going to politely ask you, get out of here, guys.
Well, we think it's good to have free opinions.
I get
God
it,
bless you, Kai.
but I don't want that. Whatever you got going on, you deal with that. Thank you for your service. Weirdo, bro. People are really out here weird, and I see through so much people. They be trying to set people up for this shit is sad. He's a grown ass man.
Okay, so a lot of people were talking about
see no issue with the
right? A lot of people see no issue with the response, and do I think he handled it in the PR response way? Yeah, he handled it great for PR. Do I think he handled it well as a black man in this time? No, and then this is the overarching. Well, Matt, what does that have to do with Jamie Dorsey? This is the problem, right? I don't think that people don't understand, especially within, and the reason why I say black entertainers, black influencers, etc. There's more influencers, yes, but the reason why I say it's because I'm black and I'm a black influencer, and we're all black influencers in a sense. Yeah. So I hold us to a higher standard, right? Mm-hmm. You can do both things, bro. You can be like PR aware and like also not like bullshit and not stand on anything. Yeah. You can have nuance in your content while also being entertaining.
Did y'all also? So that nigga came up, who is evidently a Nazi, and is like, "Oh yeah, I love the way." Did y'all catch the slight comment he made at the very beginning?
Yes.
I caught the.
Who let this guy in?
He said, "Who let this guy in here? Where's Kanye at?"
Yes,
I love it. And then he starts talking about Kanye.
Yes, he said, "Who let this guy in?"
So we've started. Okay,
also,
so we
hold on. Another point. Another thing that he mentioned towards the end of it, where he was like, well, I appreciate you letting me speak, though. Exactly, Kai. Yeah. That's why you have to speak. Because his motive in that, you think his motive, other than getting his rocks off, you think his motive was anything else but getting that point off, getting that audience. This is why you can't just, I gotta protect my energy.
Yeah. And the thing is, he started good, in my opinion, because he's like, oh, you really came on here knowing my influence. Mm-hmm. You should have continued saying, knowing my influence to spread like whatever shit about Kanye to all the people in my audience. Like, that's crazy. Like, at least
Kai knows, and to say like Kai knows about the stuff.
He knows.
Especially considering he was supposed to do the stream with Kanye, and then as everything came out, he was like, no, I'm not doing that stream with Kanye anymore.
Yeah.
This boils into this thing of like, this falls into DDG, this falls into all of these streamers that y'all like, all these influencers that y'all like.
Is we not gonna talk about nothing for real?
Oh,
like
we said, jump on beds and shit.
Like, yes,
and they're
like the clip again, because what are we
repeat clip? Hell yeah, we gotta say it again.
Okay, I seen a sentiment in the comment section that was like, oh, Kai's really smart, you know, he knows what he's doing. He understands that you can't be affiliated with none of this shit, da-da-da. And one of the things that I thought about, I was like, okay, now what happens if this same situation happens, but I come up to him and I'm like, yeah, man, I really fuck with the fact that you didn't do that stream with Kanye, because I genuinely think that he's contributing to like dangerous shit in our country right now. You know, that rhetoric about Nazi stuff is bad, da-da-da. How's Kai Cenat gonna react to me? Is he gonna be, yeah, bro, yeah, I'm hearing what you're talking about, bro, and I'm just saying, or is he gonna be, that political shit, I want to protect my peace? Yeah. You now played the middle ground when there's a Nazi next to you.
So Matt, what would you do in this?
You've ceded all that ground.
What would you do in this? Okay, so boom, I'm sitting here, right? I'm streaming. How y'all doing, chat? You know what I'm saying? Whatever. It's a little baby that walk up to me. Oh, how you doing? Da 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 da. Dapper up. Hey, you know the Kanye. Da 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 da. My immediate thing would have been like, Is this nigga serious? Is this nigga about to get on here and spread? So don't listen to your daddy. Yes. I'm glad you're having fun. I would have completely ignored the nigga, but also not in a sense of, I got to protect my energy. No, your daddy's hateful. I don't know what's wrong with your daddy. But like, I fuck with you though. We got to have you on stream. I don't know what's wrong with this nigga. That is a response you can have. To where you don't look like the bad guy, and actually it does good for you PR because you interacting with the kid. Mm-hmm. 2, you're actually denouncing the shit that that Kanye said, and that weird this Nazi is saying. And then you get to go on your merry way. There's
no one's gonna give you backlash to that.
Downside to a situation like that. Now, granted, are there other situations where maybe there's a downside to speaking on certain things? Of course, right? Now I understand PR in that aspect, but in this case, this falls into that same case of like, bro, how long are we not gonna talk about?
And the thing too that I realize as well is that this is your stream. Like you're at the AMAs. I understand that. But it's not like you're on TV and a nigga come up to you and say something like that. Okay, that's like...
Yeah, you're worried about people in your ear saying, I don't say that. No, this is your shit.
And your show, too.
And that's where it goes to doing your own shit and being your own self, because you can't say the things that are actually important. Like, I think seeing Matt stream, because I remember before, like, I'd be like, bro, why are, like, people so, like, harsh on celebrities talking about these issues? Because I just genuinely wasn't aware for one. I saw Matt, I saw a lot of idiots in his comments, and he genuinely would take the time to be like, okay, this is the reason for this is the reason for that, and actually it would work, and like it would change their mind. If you can have one person's mind changed about misinformation or shit that isn't a fucking joke, like Kanye and being Nazi, because the biggest thing right now is it's a fucking joke. But that nigga at the AMAs with his fucking daughter came to this nigga and was like, oh, have you seen that Nazi? That's the ridiculous
I think that people, I think we live in an era, right? And again, and like you said, I can understand the downsides at times, right? But hot take. Y'all severely overestimate the consequences to this shit. Because if there was genuinely consequences to this shit and taking a position and having a spine, Aiden Ross would be under hell right now. He chose a side in the middle of a presidential election and had the candidate on the stream knowing how fucked everything can get if he didn't know because he's a damn idiot. But that is a thing where this nigga directly chose a side and he's doing just fine. Kai, if you at any point decided, I'm not really fucking with the Nazi shit, whatever your dad's talking about, but nigga, how you doing, XYZ? You've now done that denunciation. Like I said, we're nothing is gonna happen to you, because at the end of the day, bro, you're Kai Cenat. Say you did that and fucking Amazon is like, we don't like that you said that. You could media circuit Amazon yourself because you're Kai Cenat. These niggas got mad that I didn't agree with a Nazi. That's weird. They would never do that because they understand that's dumb as fuck.
Exactly.
They gonna shut up and they gonna give you that bread regardless if that's what matters to you that much.
And it's one thing that I want to speak to as well, because I feel like some of these creators, they're afraid of the backlash and they're afraid of people saying, "Oh, shut up and dribble" type shit. For me, instance, right? I'm not as big as a Kai Cenat. I probably got like 0.1% of his followers type shit, whatever. But my primary thing is gaming. So when I started talking about political shit back in 2020, but I started ramping it up this year and last year, and niggas was like, "Bro, stick to gaming, bro. What are you doing? You don't know what you're talking about." You're gonna get that stuff. And at first, when I got it, I'm like, damn, am I doing the right thing? Am I doing the wrong thing? When I tell you the platform that I had before and after and during that I'm still talking about this shit, nigga, it's way better than it was before.
I think
you're not losing.
It's a matter of this, bro. It's a matter of understanding that like this anti-intellectualism shit is like, guys, we can have a streaming university with a DDG with it all is, and I didn't even bring. I didn't.
We haven't even brought up the DDG.
I didn't go into the implications of having someone like a DDG on your stream with the shit he's dealing with right now.
The trial's coming up.
Yeah, the trial's coming up in the next like 6 days or some shit like that, 8 days. But fuck all that, right? As a community, as black people in this space, why cannot we can do both? We can have those funny, entertaining streams while also talking about the real issues, bro. Niggas is losing their SNAP benefits. Niggas are getting Medicaid and Medicare taken.
They're right now about to vote on a bill that will cut like a bunch of bread from Medicare, Medicaid, that is gonna shut down like all these programs that niggas who came from Kai Cenat's situation are currently relying on. And you're telling me you don't have the gumption to at least say something? Bro, that's the anti-intellectualism shit that I'm happy that you brought up, because there's a thing that's curated on this internet culture where it's weak, try hard, or dumb to care about something.
And you know what it is though?
Bro.
It's because we are desensitized to everything.
Yes.
You know, you remember like years ago, I just thought of this now. Remember years ago when people were like, oh, I wonder what the effects of social media will be on our generation? This is the effect of social media on our generation. COVID, all
because we're getting so much of it, like you're not even processing.
We're so desensitized that we don't even understand these niggas singing a song that says "Hail Hitler," the implications behind that.
Yeah.
Gang.
This is white
not
people
a
bumping that
joke.
song.
This is not a game. This is not a joke.
And that's why we need to know about politics. Because if you knew about what is happening around the world and what has happened historically when this rhetoric pops up, you'd pause for a second before I'm like, yeah, let me associate with anybody who's saying any of that shit. You want to take a stance.
And the thing
because
is,
people die,
and
man.
People die. Like, I was gonna say,
I'm
people
sorry.
die.
And even like,
But
like I hear a lot of things on Kai stream. You see a lot of the comments of like when some like political shit, like, oh, we don't want to hear that shit. But I remember he did a stream with Andrew Tate. And he's spreading his shit, and people are eating it up, laughing. But
It's
I'm
not
like,
the thing that I have a problem with. Thank you for bringing that up. Is that it's not that Kai and all these other streamers are not political. It's what you consider to be politics.
yeah.
It's only political when there's an actual substantive thing behind it, but you assume all the behaviors that you accept as okay around you aren't political.
Yeah.
Right.
If you're streaming with Andrew Tate, you're talking about politics.
Yeah.
Yep.
That nigga's entire career is pushing an ideology on how you're supposed to view women, how you're supposed to view this money shit.
that is
how you're supposed to do
also
XYZ.
tornadoed into like a million different other red pill ideologies that are part of
And that's
the
why
right
it's so
politics.
dangerous.
That's why
all
that-
political, but
People
y'all don't
don't-
see it that way.
People
Like-
don't understand that politics is in everything.
It's in
Everything
everything.
fucking
everything. Everything we talk about, we connected to at one point.
People don't understand that, gang. Like, I'm gonna keep it a bean. None of you niggas is running no circles around me when it come to this content shit, when it come to this fashion shit, when it come to this gaming shit, when it come to this politics shit. Meaning, 9 times out of 10, niggas know more than you, niggas is cooler than you. And you see how we can have these conversations and it doesn't.
It doesn't.
I'm
it doesn't
sorry.
fuck with anything, bro.
I'm sorry to tell it to you, sorry, nigga. But like,
I'm sorry to tell it to you, but we launched this podcast with an overt political like focus on almost every episode, and we're here.
you can do both things.
You can do both things. I promise you.
You know a good example of someone doing both things, or I would say, is 2 people, Hassan and Agent. Agent does both things in the sense that sometimes Agent talks about those real issues and utilizes his voice. This is a time, and I don't want to get too much more because we still got the voice memo and we're gonna yap about that. But this is a point where it's like, okay, guys, I get it. I understand we want to have fun. I understand we want to do entertaining shit, and I'm not saying we shouldn't.
And the world is depressing.
The world is depressing, gang. We need
sometimes
that.
sometimes you want to shut off your brain.
Exactly,
but
but
other
we
times you have to
also
shut
need
on your
both,
brain.
bro. Exactly. We
Shut on your
also have
brain.
had Kai Cenats for now years, right? We've had it for like 5, 6, 7, 8 years, even before Kai Cenat was Kai Cenat. I'm talking about like Jake Pauls. I'm talking about we've had this influx of influencers who just do content shit and don't give a fuck about the world around them.
Or their implications.
Or their
And then
implications.
they recorded dead body.
And then they recorded dead body.
And I think the biggest thing is, bro, I feel like each time, bro, you have to adapt how the world is. And
do.
the world is right now is shit. So nigga, adapt and literally
You can
just
do
say
both
shit.
things,
You can
bro.
do both.
And
And stop thinking you
don't
can't,
have to
bro.
be a fucking
Politics
melon.
does not have to be
Like-
and you
literally-
also don't have to be me. You don't have to be the president of the United
You
States.
also don't gotta be.
You don't have to be. Yeah, no, you don't have
You know
to
what
give
I
your
mean? You ain't
chat a
gotta-
history lesson
you
every
do all that
night.
shit,
Right.
bro.
You could
Wait,
just be
hold
like,
on.
yeah, y'all
That's the
seen this
biggest
thing, this
thing.
bill they trying to pass? That's fucked up.
I be on stream, bro.
literally-
I be on stream, bro, and I'm gonna keep it a beam with you, especially when I first started talking about this political, like, esque certain things. But I had no idea what the fuck I was talking about. In the sense of, like, a lot of the times I'm sitting there and I'm looking shit up with my chat. I'm educating myself with my chat. And that's all it takes.
Literally.
I'm not gonna sit there. I'm gonna sit, bro. There's been times where a nigga come in my chat and I'm like, yeah, we not clearing that shit, but let's go play this game. You know what I mean? Sure.
Yeah.
But every time, especially in light of like certain shit where it's like, gang, Kai, you're from the Bronx, meaning a lot of people you know or grew up with are about to get affected with all of the shit that's happening in this office right now, and you said nothing. And no one said anything. No prominent black influencer has said anything about this
and
shit.
to that point, right?
In that space.
You gotta realize
but it's not my, I'm sorry, but this is not my space. It's not my, there's other people that, no, but y'all have the voices. Y'all got the masses, my nigga.
Yeah.
If you're capable,
understand that though, my nigga.
Yeah.
if you're capable of doing a streaming university, you're capable of doing.
It's a mindset. You can change these kids' mindsets, bro, by volleying those ideas the same way the red does. You don't have to fucking overtly be like, well, I am a Democrat, I am a liberal. But you can be like, yeah, bro, yeah, I ain't gonna lie, chat. I saw that shit that like So Illuminati and them was saying about Zoe, and y'all know I don't fuck with her. You know, she weird, but like, I don't know, like that B word kind of crazy, or like some just small little.
And
this is how you sold the seed.
And it's one thing. And it's one thing I gotta say to these niggas, right? You have to realize that you not saying anything. Number one, that's a problem. Number two, everybody, the 700,000 niggas that was watching him in the stream, you gotta realize each individual person that watches that stream has a life.
Yeah.
And a lot of those people that's watching him are affected by every single thing that is happening right now.
So someone like Kai Cenat can afford to not care about those things, and the people around him might be able to afford to not care about it because you're in a different point in life, right? You're a millionaire.
Yep.
I guarantee you, out of that 700,000 people watching you, maybe 699,000 probably have talked to someone recently in their family, in something. Probably one of them have talked about something political in the past month.
When he shuts off that camera.
That's exactly. When he shuts off that camera,
you can't shut off your brain.
Reality.
You can't shut off your brain
He
anymore.
can shut off his brain because he's rich as fuck. He can do whatever the fuck he wants. He can go to Turks and not give a fuck about none of this shit. You can't. You don't got a fucking passport. You're done for. What are we talking about?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
So if
this
you
is
are
why,
in a position to be that vision and be that light for people, don't just be it through the bread.
Yeah.
Through the success. Oh,
Yes.
you got money in this way, and that's what I'm striving from. Be it through the principles.
Yes.
Too. What you spread to people.
Yes.
Because that's what you do every day. You turn on that fucking camera.
Exactly.
Also-
You're capable of doing it.
also, you get to a situation, this is the last thing I'm gonna say. Also, with that same thing, that builds your character. So you
don't have to say shit all the time because people know where you stand.
Also, with a
Exactly.
DDG or a situation like this with Halle, if DDG comes out and he's standing on shit for years at this point, and then a Halle Bailey situation comes out like this, when people go to flock to your support, if there's a actual like past history or conversation or something that can kind of say, oh, okay, I gauge how this person thinks.
Yeah, or
other than
humanize
just,
you.
I got hella money, you know, but I'm humble and I'm valedictorian and I'm, gang, okay, you're a shell. You're a shell.
You
So-
made it easy.
all right, bro.
Even if
Let's just wait for the, you know what I
even
mean?
in the situation where you actually did nothing wrong, you've made it a million times harder for anyone to come to your defense because again, you are that shell. You're terrified of
We've never
showing.
seen you stand on no shit. No real shit.
We've never seen you advocate
no
for
actual
nothing.
shit. We people in your industry, have gotten their hands like hands put on them or different types of situations. We've never seen y'all advocate for none of this shit.
And that's unfortunately
That's the issue.
And that's unfortunately, and we'll wrap up because a lot of y'all just don't care.
A lot of y'all know.
Yeah.
A lot of
And
these
that's
niggas getting
really-
back
that
and getting the
and-
fuck on.
And
Yeah.
that's
Can't do that, bro.
And if,
I would hope.
And if there's any issue outside of like the success of like the shit that he'll do or like stuff that other people will accomplish, that's the issue that I'll have is that I genuinely think that this is worth caring about.
Yeah,
It is.
Genuinely
And not
worth
saying
caring.
this-
I've been convinced. I've seen enough evidence.
especially considering like where we from. Where we're from, the people we know, and we know it. There's you know what I mean. DDG grew up in Pontiac. Kai grew up in the Bronx. Like gang.
Come on.
Yeah.
Like gang.
And
We
you
know
have-
we
you
know-
have-
we
you
know
have-
some people
You
that
have a
we know,
very
like
unique
shit.
opportunity that niggas like Aiden Ross actually don't have.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
But
Tight.
I digress.
I digress, man.
We are going to get dragged out of here kicking and screaming. So let's do our final 10, which is really gonna be like final 5. Let's get into a voice memo. So it was brought to my attention because I've noticed I don't pay as much attention to all the messages, even though I love y'all and I be trying to, because there's a lot always going on my phone and I get burnt out easily. But Matt told me that someone left a voice memo and that it was like a creator as well. And I was like, what the hell? So what's the context behind the voice memo that we got?
I think AB pulled it up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. So her name is Diane Bondi. Really appreciate you.
Appreciate you.
So she left us a voice message, and I guess the first part of it, she was saying that like she was walking for like 2 hours listening to the pod. Really appreciate.
That's crazy.
That's crazy.
So we're gonna play a cool 30 seconds of what she had to say.
Cool.
Let me pull it up.
If you guys are still watching and waiting for him to pull up this voice memo, make sure you like, comment, share, subscribe. Follow the Jam on all platforms. All right, cool.
So critically, empathetically, and realistically about manhood, about relationships. And I am so grateful because I was very worried for this younger generation getting caught up in that manosphere, red pill bullshit. So I'm glad to see critical thinking and relationship thinking. And honestly, whenever I see a bunch of men with a podcast mic, I usually skim over because I'm always worried that it's going to be hateful rhetoric about women. I love it that you're not referring to women as females. Like, you actually get that we're human beings trying to figure it out just like you. I am telling my sons who are 18 and 20 that they have to listen to this podcast because they're young black men and they need positive young black men role models like yourself. I'm desperately trying to follow you here on Instagram, but I'm on my maximum count on my professional page. So I'll dip into my personal page and come back and follow you all. Here's the question. Sorry for the long ramble. Here's the question. How did you come to understand relationships as such? How did you come to not be pulled in to the manosphere blog and become angry men, and especially angry black men, especially being angry at black women who always stand with black men and don't understand why the world hates us and then our own people hate us? How did you become these men that understood the humanity of black women, and how can we change that in other black men? Okay, thanks for your time.
Thank you for the question. I just said it earlier about the whole human thing.
Yeah, I was literally gonna say I think it's exactly what you said, and what she said, where it's like understanding that like we are all on earth for the first time doing this shit.
Self-reflection too.
Self-reflection.
And dropping that ego. I was gonna say,
bro.
As for how, we could talk for an hour about just this question.
Episode number 2.
but as for how, I think at least for me, it was just I was just seeing certain shit that didn't compute. Yeah. Like I never really came out and was like, yeah, I hate the red pill immediately because I didn't know what the fuck it was, but I had to learn about it first. And I'm hearing it and I'm like looking at how they'll be like, well, you know, the majority of men got XYZ problem, and they're like sourcing like Tinder as a resource to tell real world dynamics between men and women, as though that app is not dominated by men who are looking to hook up. Yeah. So yes, you're gonna get. That's like the most hyper fixated version of like men chasing women in a like surface level sense. Yeah. And you're using that to inform your entire worldview about the person who was your sister, who was your mom, who's your girl. Like,
I think it's that as well. Like, especially I would say me and you have a different path. Yeah. And maybe AB as well, just because like it's a little different. But I would say like on a creative aspect as well, being creative, I feel like doesn't allow you to put yourself in a box. And that way of thinking, that generalizations, that the broad generalizations that are in the manosphere is like, that's what kind of, if like first tick me, like all girls are the same was a immediate thing that I was like, huh? I was like, wait,
I don't know about that one.
I was like, I don't know about that. Not everybody. And that's how it kind of started for me. I wasn't really deep into it, like with so many things, but it was just like, it was that constant self-reflection, that constant like, okay, wait, but like all girls can't be the same because XYZ, they're different people. Right. But it's because I'm a creative. It's because growing up we were creative to where it's like, okay, I can't box myself you can't box yourself into one thing anyway.
You can't be a Republican. You're not going to be a Republican doing fashion.
Things. Huh?
You're not going to be a red pill Republican doing fashion.
Exactly. There's so many.
You have to like break
there's so
stigmas.
Many different, exactly. There's so many different like I always refer to this one thing that Lil Wayne said in the song where he was like, my open mind has a screen door. And basically what that, like how I resonated with it is like, okay, you have an open mind, but obviously because of your environment or certain things like that, you have this screen door that there where you can look through and see these things, but it's still a blockage there for like what you will and will not allow to change your actual perspective.
Right.
I don't think that you can be fully creative with that screen door. I think you have to be able to open up and actually understanding all different aspects of your world. And make yourself uncomfortable. Understanding the red pill. I had to understand the red pill to then understand why I don't fuck with the red. You know what I mean? And I think that's a big part of it.
I think with most men is like, most niggas be shallow. So then they get shallow results in the sense of like, oh, I just want ass, this and that. And then you get played and they be like, all women is the same. Well, in actuality, nigga, you're the shallow nigga who just wanted those shallow things. And
or maybe you just encountered one shallow person.
Right.
And then like, it doesn't
out of 4 billion.
Your entire life does not have to be that.
What about you, Abby?
It's like, number one, self-reflection, and two, you just gotta look at some of this shit that these niggas be doing, like the relationship calculator or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, you niggas be sad.
Well, according to this calculator, you only got a 2.2% chance of getting this dude. It's like, why do you care? First of all, why the fuck do you care?
Yeah. Also, like, just
side.
that basic, and just like that comment. I was gonna say as well, that common sense. Well, like she brought up the female thing. Like I remember that kind of. I feel like at a time when I was younger, I feel like I did used to say it.
I was saying that shit heavy.
I'm gonna keep it mean. I still slip up and say it sometimes, like if I'm like really speedy talk, just because like it wasn't something that I started getting a handle on for like the last year. I've been doing good though. I haven't said it in a long time.
Yeah, and I one of the things that I tried to explain too, which convinced me out of it, was that like you don't hear the word male used at all, and at that point it's dead.
Yeah.
Honestly, in my opinion,
it's just,
I wouldn't say I have a different opinion than that because I have the same opinion, but I would say in my opinion with the whole like female thing, it just became one of those things where it's like, okay, like it doesn't.
They don't want to be called that.
You know what it's like?
Say
it's like exactly. It's like it's like pronouns in a sense where it's like it wasn't. I was working with people who like wanted like their pronouns were different, like they, them, and stuff like that, and it kind of, in my opinion, it was just like, okay, like this doesn't have enough control over me to where I'm like, well, no, I don't.
But that goes, that ties
whatever you know what I mean, and that makes sense to me. Like with women, it's like it for me now. It sounds better. Like it doesn't even make sense for me to say it. Just
what are you gonna say?
One of those things.
I said it ties in what you were saying with the ego.
Yeah,
you just won't let that ego. So
put your ego aside for a second, gang, and like
literally
just understand some shit. You know what I'm saying?
And actually get some straightening,
and actually try to treat people
straighten.
Also try to treat people the way you want to be treated. Y'all will crash out and threaten to shoot a nigga if they call you a bitch.
Exactly, real.
Yeah,
constantly, immediately. All right, bro.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for the question. Y'all niggas out here be making us tired each week, but
nigga, my back's so fucking wet, bro. I'm hot like a bitch. Real spill, bro.
But yeah, we hope y'all enjoyed another episode of The Jam. Thank you guys for all the love and support.
Really appreciate you.
Again, like, comment, share, subscribe, all that good stuff. Every platform. We hope that y'all enjoyed the conversation. Still comment with #JamTalk.
Yeah, we've been looking for it.
And again, if you want to leave us a voicemail, we still haven't set up like a Google Voice anything yet. So if you want to DM us on Instagram, have us accept it. Did we? Well, we haven't launched it.
No, I saw an email about something.
Oh, we haven't launched
it's
not ready to go, nigga. If it was ready to go, they would have had the jam and did it. But no, so DM us, have us accept it. Then you can send your voice message. Keep it 30 seconds, 45 seconds.
Please.
And yeah. Please. But thank you guys.
Really appreciate y'all, man.
Appreciate y'all.
Support, man.
Sir.
Yep, have an awesome day or night wherever you are. And peace.
Peace out, y'all.
Thank you for watching this long. If you haven't already, subscribe. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
What are you doing? You think we just sitting here doing it for nothing?
You think you're gonna sit here and not
need
do
to
shit? Like,
I know you're not subscribed. Click it.
cool.